Sabres back to practice earlier today as they get ready to host Florida tomorrow afternoon. Mattias Samuelsson was on the ice today. He should be ready for tomorrow's game, while Justin Danforth is expected to miss more than a month with a lower body injury. That, according to head coach Lindy Ruff. And then some good trends on the injury front. Michael Kessering had a rehab skate today, and Jordan Greenway was on the ice, albeit in a non-contact jersey. We'll get more on the Sabres. Stay tuned. Paul Hamilton will join the show at 5:30. 4 games then tonight around the rest of the NHL. 2 of them are at 7. The Lightning are in Detroit versus the Red Wings, and Washington hosts Minnesota. At 8:30, Chicago hosts the Vancouver Canucks. Then at 9, the Mammoth had the San Jose Sharks in town. For the NFL, some key players out for this weekend. Wide receivers Puka Nacua, Calvin Ridley, and Terry McLaurin. And then for the Cowboys, a bit of a weird one. Cornerback Trayvon Diggs is going to be out after he picked up a concussion yesterday at home. In college football, we've got 2 top 25 matchups tonight. Number 2, Miami hosts Louisville at 7. Then number 25, Nebraska is on the road versus Minnesota at 8. And in baseball, Game 5 of the ALCS, a series where no home team has won yet. Seattle plays host to Toronto. First pitch just after 6. Bryce Miller and Kevin Gausman are your starters tonight. Then at 8:30, Dodgers looking to sweep the Brewers at home. Jose Quintana and Shohei Ohtani are your starters for that game. And Sports Talk on WGR is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL games live every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
My dad's not here right now. He's still at work. So I'm going to blast him.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I'm going to see if there's a clean version so that my parents and the people at my school will not get mad at me. We've got the spritzer filled with water just in case if stuff gets too fire. I'm going to set up the speaker and I'm going to listen to
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I think this is the best
Mike Schopp
feature that I've heard in a long time. I think his flow is really good in it, and I like his aggressiveness on it, and
the Bulldog.
Put not enough effort in it. I think overall his flow was good, but I don't like that mobile rapping. That was my review of
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Didn't need a spritzer. Wasn't fire enough. No spritzer for you. No spritzer.
Welcome. Happy Friday. Football Friday. Wait, is it? This will shock you. I haven't heard any different.
What's the law? What's the what? I don't know. What does the boss
Let's
say?
just go with it.
Yeah,
Football Friday is brought to you by Celino Law. Car crash? Call Celino. Call the 8s. And by Crosby's Pizza and Subs. Crosby's Hometown Fuel. Game day ready since 1922.
I'm not sure how much I've learned in the 20-plus years we've been together and the 30 years that I've been doing this, but I do think it's safe to say if you read the sponsors extra, you're
not going to be in trouble.
You're not going to get in trouble.
I think that's right.
Right. Nobody's going to say you should not have done that.
Mike, come here. I heard you reference Crosby's 4 times. It was only supposed to be 3.
What do you think you're doing?
You're suspended for a year. Without pay. I want one of those suspensions where you get paid. How do you get those? Play professional sports?
Yeah, or be just
police officer?
so valuable to the company.
I don't know how you get those.
It's not a status I've ever thought I would achieve, and I think I'm correct.
How much of your Sunday will be a football Sunday?
I think a good amount. I doubt I'll watch much of the morning. Me and Mrs. Parker have got a little we got a little getaway planned for Saturday, and so I don't know that we'll be gone much further than 1 o'clock kickoffs, but I don't think I'll be waking up going, oh hey hun, while they bring us breakfast in bed. Do you mind? Let's put the. I don't think I'll be looking at the football game at 9:30 probably. But the rest of it, I'll probably be there.
Isn't it true of a lot of things in life that you are excited about them, you like them, and they end up being your ruination or your undoing or just somehow end up in the negative?
A lot of my choices are like that, yes.
1A is Thursday night football. 1B is Sunday morning games. because both require an extra round of attention with fantasy. You know, just like we do FFPC. We'll have Adam Krautwurst later. FFPC, which is the number one high stakes site, I would say, has a round of waivers Sunday mornings at 10, which, you know, is interesting and good. And if you're all over it, you're all over that. You have to be. Mm-hmm. But there's a 9:30 kickoff, and that just complicates it. Like, you can't, if I wanted, name somebody like on the Tutu Atwell, because in these leagues, Jordan Whittington is already taken. Like, that's how we play. But if you wanted Tutu Atwell, you can't get him on Sunday morning because his game will have started. Same with the Jaguars. LaQuint Allen or somebody like that. Like, so those guys are off.
Your LaQuint Allens, your Tutu Atwell.
Exactly. Like, who needs this in their lives? I mean, I'm not recommending it for anybody.
Yeah, no. I'll be happy to be missing out on all that. Missing out, that's not even the correct way to put it. Whatever.
It's close. I understood.
I won't mind not partaking in that.
Next week, there is no early game. Oh.
But the Bills play at 1. So, I mean, that's
so early.
So that's early for us now, yeah.
But there's no morning game in weeks 8 or 9. There is in week 10 and 11. So, right back at it.
Yeah.
Well, my Sunday, I think, will be largely out in the rain. It sounds like it's going to rain on Sunday at a lacrosse tournament. But, you know, as we've talked about in the past, you last week spending 12 hours in a row or whatever it was on the couch watching games. Right. Like, you know, you regretted it. You wanted to have been outside for a little bit.
I did. I played golf in the morning at least. But, you know, once 1 o'clock rolled around, that was pretty much it. And, the games did not feel like they really paid off. So I haven't. Now that you're just mentioning it, so I'm just getting around to looking to see what
it's worse.
Our choices are going to be.
I think it's worse.
I mean, the Chiefs, but it's the Raiders, so you just be ready to watch the Chiefs win by 20 or something. 1 o'clock. Eagles, Vikings. Okay.
I really almost don't care at all about that.
Washington, Dallas is 4:25.
I like that.
That should be a fun game.
But you have some dogs on there. Carolina Jets.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the local TV. Those are the games that are available to us over the air. And the night game, of course, everybody gets Falcons and 49ers.
That's not even great.
No, not really.
2 games on Monday night. It's too much. Well, last night, though.
That was how
about that?
That was beautiful, is what it was. It was for a variety of reasons, but mostly I'm going to say Pittsburgh losing. That was what I really wanted out of it. I got hard. I went hard on Flacco yesterday on the show. Like, just give me this one game, this one moment in the sun, or under the lights, if you will. And he absolutely delivered. The game was wild. It seemed like it was maybe Pittsburgh's game. They're up 10 early. Cincinnati's up 10 early fourth quarter. And still we're getting back and forth, lead changes and Hail Marys. And it was pretty intense.
The Hail Mary was close. Were you on the edge of your seat? I bet you stayed awake for this game.
You think I did? Yeah. Yeah, I had. That was not. I won a huge parlay last night, and I was not. It wasn't until it was 3 touchdowns I needed. Chase, which happened very early, and the other 2 were Fant and Darnell Washington.
We have to talk about that.
And those were the last 2 touchdowns, right? I think Cincinnati's last touchdown was Fant, and so when that happened, that's when I looked. Because I wasn't paying attention to it all night. I knew Fant and Washington had not scored, and so I knew I needed that. And I wasn't that worried. I had Flacco for 250 or more attached to that, and the Bengals on the money line. That was the parlay. And so I knew I had Chase. I knew I had to look at Flacco, but without the touchdowns, I wasn't. So when Fant scores, I was about to fall asleep. I was in bed on my side, the iPad propped up against something on my nightstand, and Fant gets the touchdown. I'm like, okay, I think I'm
Fant.
I think I'm kind of live here.
I mean, how?
obscure tight ends.
I asked this
it's
question.
It's our Thursday brand. I went and I grabbed Fant. Gesicki's hurt, right?
That's right. No, that's how you do it.
And I thought Flacco's old. He'll want to throw to a tight end.
That's right. Yep.
That was my process. So Fant scores. Yes, now I'm awake. Right? It's a 10-point game, I think, right? Yeah. And then, but I still need the Darnell Washington touchdown, which I get on the subsequent possession. So, and I've still got Cincinnati in the lead by 3. I don't have the Flacco yards yet. He's like 15 short. They're about to get the ball back. I'm assuming they're going to try to score again because there's still 7 minutes or something left or whatever it was. It's a lot of time. And so, yeah, I was wide awake. When I got the
I would hope so.
I got the Washington touchdown. I texted Sam. Please don't be offended that I didn't text you. You are not in my Apple
Me?
world. Yeah, because I would have texted.
I'm not offended.
I can't text you from my bedroom. My phone is downstairs.
Well, that's how I want it.
And you're outside of you and Paul and our boss, Alan, are outside of my, so I have to go to my phone to contact you guys. So anyway, I text Sam, and I send him the bet slip, like, okay. He's like, oh boy. And the buyout.
It's 182-1.
When
was the bet?
When the Bengals start marching on what ends up being the second to last field goal drive to go back up 6, they're marching. The buyout is like $2,100 on this parlay, which is, I mean, there's an ass-whopping load of money to win on a $20 bet, right? But it's also $1,600 less than if I see it through, right? So I'm texting Sam. He's like, don't do it. Don't. I told him the buyout is $2,100 right now. That's like more money than I probably ever won on any single bet ever on this app. He's like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting tight, and they bog down. They kick the field goal. They kick off. As soon as the Steelers get the ball, it's $1,700. The buy it got slashed.
Right,
like,
because it's only 6.
Right,
the lead is 6.
Right. So this is dead. I'm
like
done.
7 minutes left.
I'm closing the app. I got the yards. That drive got Flacco the yards. So I'm home everywhere. I just need the win now. I need the Bengals to hold on. And then that Freiermuth play happens, and I'm just like, come on! Oh, okay, Flacco, game-winning field goal drive time. But even that was still, I mean, they get the ball back, and there's the Hail Mary, and I just was not, It
was no sure thing. Like, when I thought when it went 31-30 Pittsburgh, really, my number one thought, as I think I tweeted, was just like, please let this game go on forever. Which has happened maybe 4 times this year on Thursday nights. Some of these games on Thursday nights, you just kind of want to keep rooting for chaos and ties and overtime. And San Francisco Rams, I think, was one of these games. Maybe that was last week. So for me, it was one sack here, and Cincinnati, it's a crazy bad loss if that happens. But it doesn't. Like, they couldn't get near him again. They got him once on that previous field goal drive. I think Watt and Hayward got him, and they had to settle for the field goal. That's probably why I was thinking it. Like, finally, I didn't watch the first half very closely, but finally Pittsburgh was getting home.
Right.
And still, how about it? I mean, congratulations. I mean, I love numbers. I like to bet. I don't do a lot of it, but I love to talk about it and analyze it. I don't play parlays hardly ever, but man, when you get one, how you get to Noah Fant and Darnell Washington? Darnell Washington had 2 receiving yards in this game on 3 catches and 1 touchdown, and I had Washington just to do our thing, like with the tight ends. Just that was plus 320. I had a small wager on that, and that was sort of my highlight of the night. So we both won on him, a guy that, I mean, how cool is that guy? But Fant and Washington and Chase, I mean, Chase ended up being easy. That wasn't even yards. That was he had to score. Imagine if you had him.
And he didn't score, right?
To score, and he doesn't on that game.
Yeah.
But he does.
Or if I'd had Higgins instead of Fant, and he goes down at the 3-yard line.
But he at least had already scored, too. Higgins.
Oh, he did. Oh, he did. I didn't even realize
he scored in the first half too.
Okay.
Everybody scored except Metcalf in this game, and Jalen Warren, who had it. But, or Chase Brown. All right, not everybody scored, but if you were tight end, you scored in this game. Yeah, that's really awesome. So Pittsburgh is now 4-2 And Cincinnati is what, 3-4?
3-4, right.
And they're not dead then? Or was Flacco so good that they're just going to make a run?
They're not dead, but everything I said yesterday was just give me a game. I don't believe if I get the game that I'm sort of predicting or hoping for, this big, show off Joe Flacco game, I don't believe it's going to mean that they're back. He's liable to throw 3 picks next week. I just don't. I wouldn't trust it. But he can get hot. He got hot enough for Cleveland a couple of years ago that they rode him into the playoffs, and then he turned into a pumpkin against Houston in the playoffs. So he could, I guess, but I'm not. I'm still thinking they're dead.
I think he is sort of. It's been a long time since I was really into playing Madden. But let's say you're just starting out on a Madden season, or you're just not really, you're playing your teenage son and you're not really that adept at it. But you know the league, you know the players, and you take over a team that has Jamar Chase on it. What are you going to do?
Throw it to Jamar Chase.
Every play, you're just going to throw the ball to Jamar Chase and figure out where he is on the field. I watched the game on the next gen.
Prime. Yeah, how'd you like that? I've not done that yet.
I like it a lot. I don't always prefer it. Like when the Bills were on, I didn't watch it on that feed. I like it a lot. What you don't, you adjust. All these touchdowns, everything is from back up behind the quarterback. And they do show you where everybody is. It's a great way to learn coverages and, blitzes and blitz pickups. I think it's really smart. That feed, and they do give you more of the data on when to go for it and this kind of thing. But when the Freiermuth, the 31-30 touchdown happened, it was like being in the stadium when you're in the end zone on the other end.
Right.
You just really don't know how close he is. But at the same time, from the regular sideline camera, you don't know who's waiting for him back here or it's what it looks like going forward. It's maybe 50-50 with this. I liked it a lot. But you can learn about defense in this from watching that feed. I don't know what I was going to say. I feel like but Chase, Flacco is kind of maybe how you would play the position if you ever somehow miraculously lucked into the job. You would just sort of, all right, well, both these quarterbacks, both in their 40s, got rid of the ball right away last night. This was happening all night. Both guys were just sort of getting rid of it and not. Rodgers had a couple of plays where he danced around.
Because the stat at one point I wasn't watching what you're talking about, but the page that I was looking at for Prime on my iPad did have stats below, and not just attempts and yards and stuff. At average time to throw. And at one point, in the third or fourth quarter of the game, Rodgers' time to throw was double what Flacco's was. Probably because of a couple of plays he extended that just stretched it out.
Yeah, that is a function, of course, somewhat on what the quarterback does. If Rodgers gets rid of the ball earlier, his time to throw is different. But It's not like it had to be. On the Jonnu Smith touchdown, he could have thrown the ball away and they kick a field goal there, and it's 2 seconds to throw instead of 8 or whatever it ended up being on that play. So he makes that happen. It's not just a line stat, right? So he, on that play, you saw it. First quarter just was.
Yep.
He could have doubled how much time he needed to throw. Just nobody was coming. Anyway, Pittsburgh, it's such a fun league, if Pittsburgh is going to have a Pittsburgh season, their offense is limited. They have one wide receiver. They have Arthur Smith. They'll punt a lot. Tomlin still loves to punt. They're not sharp in game management stuff, but at least the defense. And what do you get here against the Bengals team that can't block and is on their third quarterback of the season?
And can't run the ball.
Doesn't really run the ball. In this game, they do.
Did pretty much whatever they wanted, and they barely got to Flacco, really.
Crazy.
Yeah, it really was. And now the result is 6 teams at 4-2 in the AFC. You've just got this huge logjam behind the Colts, just like everyone thought. The Colts pacing the whole thing at 5-1. But Chargers, Steelers, Patriots, Bills, Jaguars, Broncos, all 4-2.
Colts at Chargers Sunday. Brace yourself if you get to that game. You know why?
Why?
The Chargers are in all yellow.
Oh, my.
They're calling it gold, but we as Sabres fans know gold and yellow are very different. Mm-hmm. You can't just be the blue and gold if you're blue and yellow. So the Chargers are like all yellow.
Is this like a rival? No, they're not.
No, they're just fooling around.
Okay. All right. Well, good to know. Thanks for the warning.
You've all been warned.
That must be a 4:00 kick, I assume, because
I'm sure it is.
It's in L.A., yeah. All right, well, I'm sure I'll dip into that on Red Zone.
None of those 5-1 or 4-2 teams, I think there are 7 combined.
Yeah, 6-1, yes.
Are Kansas City.
Right, they are right behind at 3-3.
And speaking of uniforms, here comes the best uniform matchup in NFL history. Chiefs red at home versus Raiders white and silver pants. That's the best. That's just never been topped. But not one of the top 7 teams by the standings, you're telling me.
No, that's right. They are the 8th place team in the conference right now.
Let's keep it that way. Right, everyone?
Probably not.
So is Houston outside of the top 7. They play Monday night late in Seattle. And they're more interesting to me as a contender than Jacksonville is. But I do like Seattle in the game because I think Seattle's really good. Mm-hmm. And the Bengals at 3-4 are what? Their next 2 games are home to the Jets and the Bears. I think you said it. I asked you already, and you said it. He could throw 3 picks next week. He totally will.
Yeah.
Like, this is Joe Flacco. Like I was saying, you're gonna hit that button, and he's gonna throw the ball to Chase on every play because there's no close second as an option, and this may work, but this is what we're gonna do. And then in a week or 2, they'll be onto him.
Right.
And then what?
Then it's over.
Then he's traded to the Texans.
Yeah, and then, did he get you to Joe Burrow with a lifeline still? Like, are you alive by the time Burrow comes back? I still would guess no, but you never know. Because I do think I would have. Is it 3 seasons ago now that he had that late run in Cleveland where he took? It's only 2 seasons ago. I'll bet I said the same thing every week. Like he kept playing well. I think it was only like 4 games in a row, maybe. All right. But still, after the first, I'm like, oh, that won't last. Oh. And again. And finally, like, okay, it's the playoffs. This madness has to stop. And it's 2 pick sixes, and they just got blown out. So he could, he's done it recently enough. That's not prime Joe Flacco. That's more this Joe Flacco than the Joe Flacco that won the Super Bowl, even though, I don't know, like, skill-wise.
Who even remembers that?
How different they even are. But he still moves around about the same. How about the naked, the keeper? That was the most incredible play of the night, maybe.
Love it. The vibes were really, really good.
My breath away. I could not believe that happened.
I can't believe he didn't have Flacco over rushing yards on this parlay the way it's going.
With Fant and Darnell Washington.
Do you see the stat about how Tom Brady, with 1, is second all time in receiving yards among players in their 40s?
No, I did not see that.
Jerry Rice has 1 million.
Right.
Nobody else has 2. And I think it was Steve Palazzolo maybe who tweeted, like, let's cook up a little swing pass to Flacco. Like,
right.
Last night they were probably game for it. Just he was.
Yep.
He had the sneak late that didn't count because of a timeout.
Right.
And they just ran it again.
Right.
I felt like that was their one chance to run the sneak. I thought it was a little cheap that they ended up showing their play. Mm-hmm. And the Bengals like, no, we'll just do it again and make it both. It's like he's Allen now. Flacco is better at sneaks than the Bills.
Right.
The Bills have decided not to do it. Brady even said it.
We
played it yesterday.
Variety. Yeah, right.
Yeah, like they don't even want to run sneaks anymore with Josh Allen. Here's the Bengals with Flacco. Like, what do you mean? Of course this is the best idea out there. Wow. Well, great night, and congrats again. Wow, amazing. Sam will want to talk about it. I put their show on this morning at 9:30, and the first thing I heard was Sam talking about you.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I mean, he knows. Sam Panayotovich, Adam Krautwurst with some fantasy advice, Paul Hamilton on the Sabres before we're done, and then at the end, picks. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, Football Friday. Let's go. We'll be back in a snap. Brought to you by Snapdragon Apples, the official apple of the Buffalo Bills.
Snap good. Hold good. Kick good. What a night.
Al Michaels, or as we know him as Al. Hey, that's Al. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Football Friday. Welcome back. With us now, the always entertaining Sam Panayotovich, host of Bet Sweats with Joe Ostrowski on the Bet MGM network. Weekday mornings, 9 to noon on the Odyssey app and the Bet 1520 here in Buffalo. Also, you can catch Sam Sunday mornings as well as Joe on separate shows leading up to the 1 p.m. Eastern kickoff slate. Sam, nice night.
Nice night for Chase Brown, for sure. That was nice. We hit that one, but only to be outdone by – I told Joe I was going on with Mr. Thursday Night today, and he said, which one, Mike or Bulldog? And I'm like, honestly, that's a fair point. You guys have dominated Thursday Night Football this year.
That's pretty much the case,
I guess
although
that's right.
my balance doesn't look like his, I think. Like, I had Washington to score, and I felt like kind of a chump watching the Room segment yesterday, but that was Washington over yards, which he had 2 yards, not, I believe, 27.
Well, I don't know,
which he
Sam.
needed.
You tell me, and don't pull any punches. I suspect I know how Joe feels about this. Like, who's the chump? Like, I put in these 4 and 5 leg parlays every week. On Sunday once, on Thursdays, not every week. We're 7 weeks into the season. It took until now for me to hit one.
Only takes one.
I made all my money back and then some, of course. I mean, I was only down a couple $100 on the whole process, but I'm a guy in flip-flops walking in to buy a lottery ticket.
Well,
You're doing it right, though, because you do it within your means. I'm not ever going to tell somebody not to bet $5, $10, $20 on a parlay. If you want to do that, if that's your prerogative, go for it. And Bulldog, I'll tell you this. I made a decent amount on the game last night. I didn't come near you. So, and I'm not going to put your business in the streets because that's not my job. But, I mean, when you hit one of these and you bet 20 to win a lot, it feels really good because it's very hard. I think that's why we do it. It's so difficult. But I will tell you one thing. I got so many texts last night. I had buddies back home in Chicago that were sending me slips, 8, 9, 10 legs. Bing, 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 bing. Like everybody hit their parlays last night, and that's really what it takes. It takes a 33-31 final score in a game totaled 44 because all the prices are massive. That was supposed to be a 24-20 game last night. When it goes
Tops.
over that by that much and everybody does something, the books get crushed.
I mean, you can always tell a story. I have felt for a couple of years that with this Amazon investment that we need to recalibrate what Thursday Night Football is. Even the officials can have a hand in it in subtle ways where the matchups are way better than they used to be. They used to be panned for how bad the matchups were. Now they're all good games, or at least rivalry games. And, they're putting so much money into the league. They want good games. And one way or another, they're going to get them, I think. So they don't all have to be shootouts, and they're not. But I think gone are the days of using the fact that it's short rest to justify that teams won't be able to score, move the ball on Thursday nights. I mean, that's not what we're seeing anymore.
All the games have been close this season, too. I hadn't even thought about this, but let's wiggle. Let's talk about it. 24-20 Eagles over Cowboys. 27-18 Packers over Commanders. That one, I guess, wasn't that close. Bills-Dolphins, as you guys know, was close until the end. Cardinals-Seahawks landed on a field goal. Niners upset the Rams 26-23, and then you get the upset by the Giants on the 9th of October, the upset by the Bengals on the 16th. I guess all the games have been either exciting or close, or the dog is winning. There may be something there. I will say this, though. If you're going to take your parlay money from Thursday night, don't do it on the London game on Sunday, please, for the love of God.
Yeah,
No.
Different story.
Sam, I don't know how long it'll take. Hopefully, a really long time for me to put that money back. That money got out of the account as soon as I woke up this morning. Like it's I don't let that amount of money sit in there and tempt me to do something stupid because it's the weekend. So that's gone to the checking account. Or it's not there yet, but it's on the way.
You didn't put it all on Carolina Jets.
No. That's in the guitar fund. Don't lie. Don't lie, Bulldog. That went right to the guitar fund.
The half rule is useful here.
Yeah. I need one more. It's complicated, but yeah, no, you're right. The guitar fund is a real thing.
Half rule.
Yeah.
When you win, whatever the amount is, that's like it significant, whatever your number would be, half is for play, half isn't. That's what I think is best. But it's not my money. Sam Panayotovich on the West Her hotline. Well, Sam, I mean, throughout this season so far, we're into week 7 now. You've been repping your Bills Super Bowl bet. I wonder how you feel about it at this point. Not necessarily so much in terms of what the prices are. It's just sort of what your confidence level is. I think it's interesting for fans maybe to ponder if they feel better or worse about the Bills' chances of winning it all than they did before the season started.
I don't feel great, but what's done is done. I can't change my bets. I felt really good about them the first 3-4 weeks, and now I feel bad about it. But at the end of the day, we still have a long way to go. I wish I maybe took some of your guys' advice when the Bills were going into that Sunday night game against the Patriots, and New England was staring at us at 20-1 to win the division, and I'm like, nah, that ain't going to happen. And now it's a real conversation, although I am waiting for second-year quarterback Drake May to eventually stub his toe at some point, even though the schedule is relatively easy. Look, I think if your defense gets healthy, we have a different conversation. But the tackling has been worrisome. That said, I feel like this has happened to the Bills in October every year under McDermott, where they just play poorly in weeks 5, 6, 7, and then they figure it out. I believe they're still one of the best teams in the league, and it's not like their season is over. They're going to make the playoffs. I still think they win the division. I just need to see more on the defensive side of the ball, injuries or not. That's where I'm at this point.
I think New England, and you may have said it, I feel like this is maybe the consensus opinion about them right now, good enough to beat teams like the Bills. I mean, they look legit, maybe a likely playoff team, but they're probably going to be in close games. Can they win enough of them, even with an easy schedule? That's the thing. That's how I feel about the Patriots. I wouldn't mind beating them, but I doubt that they can just sort of rip off wins against the Titans and the Browns and anybody, the Jets twice. Everybody else is waiting for them. I think they'll probably drop a couple of those games, which would give the Bills, the opening that they will probably need.
I look at it this way, and don't tell a Patriots fan or a Bears fan this because they'll just come at you with pitchforks. Those two teams are still learning how to win. It's very difficult to just slap a 10-win or 11-win season on a young team that's still learning how to win. I said this in Chicago yesterday, and I almost got thrown off the radio. I'm like, yes, the Bears are 3-2. The Bears are also 2 plays away from being 1-4. Well, they won the game. Okay, chill out. It's not that big of a deal. But they blocked the field goal to win the game in Vegas, and then they got a fumble in the rain in Landover and kicked the field goal to win. They could be 1-4. Now, they're not. You give Ben Johnson, you give Mike Vrabel credit. It's very difficult when you put these overreactors on young teams because young teams generally don't handle pressure well. The Bills are a veteran team with a group that knows how to win games that matter. So I'm a little more optimistic. Maybe I shouldn't be, but it's not like I'm going to take my Bills Super Bowl bets and flush them down the toilet.
No reason to do that.
I mean, you mentioned the defense and needing to see more there, and Mike and I have talked about this really, for on and off really the entire week. Go figure. They scored 20 points against the Patriots. They scored 14 against Atlanta. Like I need to see the offense show some life here more than I think the defense will get some guys back from suspensions and otherwise injury, and it probably at best will be what it's been, which is you're gonna have to hang on tight when you play the Chiefs again. But I'm more worried about what I'm seeing on the offense because they just did not have an answer. Josh Allen and the Bills did not have an answer for a team blitzing them on Monday night. And the best quarterbacks in the league, which of course includes Josh Allen, are supposed to chew up and spit out the blitz. You want to blitz me? Bring it on. I'm going to torch you.
That's a very fair counter. I guess I'm just jaded by seeing Bijan Robinson go for 200 total yards of offense and Stephon Diggs for 150, right? Maybe they're both concerning. I'm not trying to dismiss what you're saying, but I mean they couldn't cover Stephon Diggs and they couldn't tackle Bijan Robinson. So I think it's certainly cause for concern. But let's reassess. Let's have this conversation again on November 30th when they go to Pittsburgh, pound the Steelers, and they have 4 losses to that point. I think it'll be a fun season. It'll be a long ride. I don't have to tell Buffalo people that. Let's just keep our composure and hope for the best.
Sam Panayotovich with us on Bet Sweats. A regular feature is called Where's the Room, as in who are the public betting and why we shouldn't be doing that, pretty much as a rule. This week, listening today, Sam, I felt like you guys were kind of stuck a little bit with Detroit as a popular public bet, and maybe also Cleveland, in Joe's case, as another. How do you break ties here? Like, if you have conviction on a game, maybe it's going to be game to game. You have conviction on a game, but then you find out that the public are really into the same side as you are. Do you necessarily bail? What do you do?
I'm not bailing on the Eagles. I look at a team that's getting Jalen Carter back. Quinyon Mitchell is a full participant at practice. That Eagles defense was quietly a little banged up in that game against the Giants. Another weird Thursday night game. They've been stewing over that game for 10 days now, going into Minnesota, and Carson Wentz just doesn't scare me. Joe was bringing up the Carson Wentz revenge game today, and I'm like, seriously, really? We're going to have this conversation? So I'm on Philly. I laid a point. It's a popular bet. It's not going to keep me off it. I mean, we can't just completely fade the public, although those college football plays, when we do the room on Friday morning, college football, the room is 10, 28, and 2 this year. That's horrendously bad. 10 wins in 40 games, that's bad. So when you're on a college room play, you abort mission. NFL, I'm not so scared.
So a couple college games that I've heard you guys talk about. One is Vanderbilt being favored against LSU. A long time since Vanderbilt has been favored in the SEC. The room is on who? I forget. LSU?
The room's on LSU, yeah. Well, LSU is getting points against Vanderbilt. So, I mean, that's a must bet if you're in the room because Vanderbilt stinks. I'm actually hearing that Garrett Nussmeier is not that healthy at LSU. So there are a couple quarterbacks this week. It's Nussmeier at LSU. It's also Cade Klubnik at Clemson. So that line moved 4 points yesterday from 9.5 to 5.5. The wise guys took SMU. Nobody thinks Klubnik is healthy, and there's this rumor that Garrett Nussmeier at LSU is not healthy. So that'd be a huge restriction on LSU. The other popular college bet is Ole Miss, which we've heard a couple times this week. People look at Ole Miss catching 7 points. They're 6-0. They haven't lost yet. Oh, and they're getting 7? Georgia might wipe them, boys. Might wipe them.
Right. How about the Notre Dame game? What do you see? Notre Dame, USC.
Yeah, I'm on Notre Dame. If you were going to ask me what my favorite bet is, I know we talk about this every week, I'd go Notre Dame. I'd lay it now, though, because I think we're going to get to 10 by game day. Notre Dame's quarterback is going to be a first-round pick because of his passing ability. And this team, if you haven't watched a lot of Notre Dame, they have revolutionized the way they play. They're not a power run team anymore. They throw the ball all over you. And USC has 2 injured backs. USC has an injured left tackle. It's a lot of pressure to put on USC's quarterback to kind of keep them in the game. I think the Trojans kind of hang around early, but the Irish knock them out late.
Our luck on Alabama, at least covering, ran out last week. They missed by, a half point, I think.
Missouri.
Right. And they've got, what do they got, Tennessee this weekend?
Yeah, Tennessee's catching 8.5. That feels big. I hate to say this to you. I push on Alabama. Ha ha ha. Nobody wants to hear that. You lost and I won. That felt like a really bad comment to make. Let me retract that from the record.
I don't.
Anyways, you got to get the best number. You got to lay 3.
Yep, right.
Win by 3. So Tennessee has 2 NFL receivers and an offense that is very up-tempo. As long as the quarterback protects the ball, they got receivers that can go down the field with Alabama. So that number feels a little bit high.
Lastly, Sam, anything on baseball today?
No, I'm done betting baseball. I retired.
All right.
I mean, go Jays in here.
I'm on the hockey.
Oh, you're on to hockey, right?
Tage Thompson hat trick tomorrow, plus 65. It's 65-1.
So do.
Oh, can you imagine if you hit the parlay you hit Thursday and then hit the Tage Thompson parlay? That'd be unbelievable.
I'm on it. That number. They played. When did they play? Wednesday night.
Yeah.
At home, the Thompson hat trick was like unbelievably low, Sam. Like 35. Like I tweeted out like I can't do it. This business model is not going to work. I need it to be, if I'm going to lose a bunch of times and make my money back, it needs to be like near 7,000, plus 7,000, which is around where it was last year, usually between 6,000 and 7,000. I don't think it ever got higher than that. And 3,500 is like, what is happening? But it's right back up again today.
Well,
So-
they're playing Ottawa, and their backup goalie.
Right,
and the Sabres did score 8 goals, and he didn't have any of them. So somebody was playing it
Yeah, I guess so.
to bring that down.
Yeah.
Quick glance at the schedule. Buffalo plays Florida tomorrow, so that would make sense.
Yes.
For it to be more expensive.
That's all right. I'm in.
Yeah. Well, it's so early in the day, maybe they won't be awake.
Right.
All right, Sam, always a pleasure. And thank you, by the way. I know I speak for Bulldog when saying this, for all the love you guys give us on your show.
Oh, it's mutual, boys. Thank you so much.
All right, Sam Panayotovich, Odyssey Betting Insider. The Bet 1520 for Bet Sweats Monday through Friday mornings from 9 to noon. Little fantasy talk with Adam Krautwurst coming up at 4. Big injuries at wide receiver this week. What can we do about it? And trying to figure out which quarterbacks to play or avoid, among other topics. I got away with Rodgers in one last night. Hated to do it. You hate to start Aaron Rodgers. What's the best that could happen? But he threw 4. Rodgers and Warren worked out as
I hope you had
a tandem.
we had both. We had Flacco in our lineup.
That's amazing.
I claimed him yesterday. Put all this
Flacco
FanDuel assets in, and that's it. He's going in the fantasy lineup.
I mean, I shouldn't say we've all been there, but I have been there. It was not there last night. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, Football Friday on WGR. Congratulations to Laura D. for being this week's lucky winner of the Football Friday Tailgate Tray giveaway. Laura has won a $300 tailgate tray certificate from Alibaba Kebab. We pick a new winner every Friday, so keep those entries coming at WGR550.com. Fire up your taste buds at any of their 3 locations. That would be Alibaba Kebab's 3 locations, not our websites. We have 1 location.
Yeah, that would be weird. Yeah.
Today would have been Ralph Wilson's birthday, which I know because it's my son's birthday.
All right. Well,
shared a birthday.
happy birthday, Julius, and to the late Ralph Wilson.
16. Cars.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't really had too many conversations about this, but last night it was like, let's go take that test, Dad.
Yeah, all right.
I feel like tomorrow we might be driving around some abandoned parking lot, learning how to shift gears.
Yeah. Has he done any, done any, there's like practice tests you can do online.
I mean, you have to ask him.
I wonder if he's done any of that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. He doesn't tell me everything.
All right.
But that's on the horizon.
Yes, it is. Well, good for you. And by good for you, I mean hold on tight.
We were out last night with some more family members, and the subject came up, like starting to drive. And he's such a smarty. He's like, well, this is great because then I won't have to wake Dad up at 6:30 every Sunday morning to drive me to practice. I'll just go. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, well, I admit, I've thought about that aspect of this.
Right.
I don't hate that necessarily. So it just spins it in a way that is saying to me,
instantaneously
you want
appealing.
this for me. You want me to have a driver's license. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to prevent it. I know that.
All right.
Baseball today, we've got 6 and 8:30. Toronto at 6, in Seattle again, and then Dodgers can close out Milwaukee. Ohtani pitches for the sweep today in L.A. Adam Krautwurst next. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
Bulldog here for Dash's Markets.
Sabres back at practice earlier this morning as they get ready to host the Florida Panthers tomorrow afternoon. Matthias Samuelsson looks to be a good to go for tomorrow. He was back on the ice today. Same could not be said, though, for Justin Danforth. He is expected to miss more than a month with a lower body injury, that according to head coach Lindy Ruff. And then some more injury trends for the Sabres. Michael Kessering had a rehab skate today, and then Jordan Greenway, while on the ice, was in a non-contact jersey. We'll get more on the Sabres in just a little while. Paul Hamilton will join the show at 5:30. 4 games tonight, though, in the NHL. 2 at 7. The Lightning are in Detroit versus the Red Wings, and Washington hosts Minnesota. At 8:30, Chicago hosts the Vancouver Canucks. Then at 9, the Mammoth have the San Jose Sharks in town. Over in the NFL, some key injury notes for the Vikings. They're going with Carson Wentz at quarterback this Sunday when they take on Philadelphia. Puka Nacua is out this Sunday morning for the Rams when they take on Jacksonville over in Europe due to an ankle injury. And Cowboys corner Trayvon Diggs picked up a concussion last night. He is going to be out against Washington. In college football, 2 top 25 matchups tonight. Number 2, Miami hosts Louisville at 7. Then number 25, Nebraska on the road versus Minnesota. That game at 8 o'clock. While in baseball, Game 5 of the ALCS, Seattle plays host to Toronto tonight with first pitch just after 6. Bryce Miller and Kevin Gausman are your starters tonight. And a note for this series, so far, no home team has won a game in this series. Then at 8:30, Dodgers looking to sweep the Brewers at home. Jose Quintana and Shohei Ohtani are your starters tonight. It's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I gotta wonder what kind of working relationship he'd have with Satan.
It's Mike Schopp.
I've often wondered that.
Like, he, they, I don't know what his pronouns are, or their pronoun. Anyway, Satan.
And the Bulldog.
What's the upside of doing well?
Well, maybe they're too busy making everyone else's life hell.
Oh, boy.
And
Wow.
you might just be able to do your own thing if you're partnered with Satan.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
They're too busy, making Scott Norwood miss field goals.
Oh, come on.
On WGR Sports Radio 550.
Welcome back. Football Friday on WGR. If you're anything like me, especially, imagine the horror. Anyway, if you're anything like me, especially in the wake of hearing about Bulldogs winning parlay last night, you're going, how come we didn't partner up on a fantasy team again this year, given that last year's did well? And perhaps our guest now on the West Shore Hotline is asking himself these same questions all the time. Adam Krautwurst, and Bulldog's a big Adam fan. I'm sure he would have been up for it, Adam, if we just arranged it.
Yeah, I think you dropped the ball on that, Mike. I mean, you're the middleman.
That's right, Adam. You and I are powerless. I mean, it's really up to our boy here to put it together. That's it.
This really should be a conversation had off the air. But Adam and I partner on how many teams? 5, maybe 6? I'm doing all the work.
Oh, boy.
This does need to be taken off the air, but you knew that was what you got when you got me as a partner.
I did? I don't know if I knew that. But this year I know that.
Yeah. Maybe if we'd had an opportunity. Didn't we have a golf date that I couldn't make? Wasn't there Adam, you extended an offer, and thank you. That was very courteous of you, and I don't remember why I couldn't make it.
Free tomorrow?
Other than just not wanting to do anything socially with Mike. I don't know. I couldn't pull it off, but thank you for if we'd done that, maybe the fantasy team would have come together. If we'd gotten
golf and a draft next year. Put it on the calendar.
There it is.
Same day.
Adam, I think I know some of this answer, but what kind of year are you having?
I'm having a injury-plagued season, just like everybody else. So it's up and down. Last night was, I had some Jamar Chase, but I also had some Kenny Gainwell. So, it's hit and miss.
Yeah, that's how that goes. Well, this week, if you had a really good team, there's a pretty good chance it was affected by the injuries with Ibuka going out. Puka Nacua won't play this week. Garrett Wilson was getting home even though the Jets weren't winning. And that's not the entire list. Wide receiver, other guys that weren't as effective have already been ruled out. Calvin Ridley, Terry McLaurin.
Again, right?
It's a really short week at receiver. Any names come to mind, whether it's those players' perceived replacements, like a Whittington with the Rams or somebody else, where you can maybe survive injuries to top receivers? It's tough at receiver. It's easier at running back when you can kind of just take the backup sometimes.
For sure, right? So, yeah, receiver's tough because it's not right. It's not like the one-for-one replacement that you can get for a running back. You know what I've been doing a lot lately is just a lot of leagues have flex positions, and a lot of those I've just been throwing at like a tight end in the flex. Like you grab like a Michael Mayer, and he's going to do better. You know, he'll probably do better than Whittington, honestly. So, but if you've got Puka, if you've got Agbuka, there are some options there on the waivers for guys that can kind of come in and hopefully get even like a 15% target share and come in and score some fantasy points for you. But it's really hard when you lose receivers to injury because, you know, earning targets is a skill, and the best ones are on the field. Whereas running backs, it's like you don't even have to be good at running back. If you get a bunch of touches and a good old line, you'll be fine. So, yeah, I would say scour the waiver wire. Try to find some of those receivers, but for flex positions, don't be afraid to throw in a tight end in there, like a Harold Fannin this week or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I like Jacoby Myers a little bit this week. Maybe they showcase him for a trade, maybe to the Buffalo Bills. But yeah, you've got Tutu Atwell. I think he could do something. He's been there a bit. Elick, Amenor. He might be the number one into Tennessee now. He's shown flashes already, so go look for those guys on your waiver wire. The
tight end idea is really interesting because with some of these receiver names, you're kind of just hoping for a touchdown, which is what tight end is almost always. You're hoping to get a touchdown. Unfortunately, we used up 4 or 5 tight end touchdowns last night. So right. that's off the table. Right. But, yeah, I think you're right. Like, that could be an interesting way of looking at it. Fannin in Cleveland and Njoku will miss this game for the Browns.
Speaking of tight ends, it sounds like Kittle's back. You just no questions asked, just he goes right back in, or is there hesitation because he's coming back from the injury?
No, I'm throwing him right back in. I've been waiting. You've been waiting all this time, and you've seen how much success Tonjes has had over the last 5 weeks or so. He's had some really big games for them. So no, and I think they'll force feed it to him. All the receivers are hurt. So, no, I really like Kittle this week for sure.
Rochester's Adam Krautwurst with us on the West Her Hotline. You can check out Adam on the Full-Time Fantasy High Stakes Analyst. He and I do a lot of podcasts and work together. Well, I mentioned Whittington, by the way, with the Rams. I kind of like that. Can you give us a quick comment on him? I think he's the Puka replacement. He's not going to be Puka, but Jacksonville gives up tons of passing yards.
Yeah, no, he is the Puka replacement. He flashed last preseason. Maybe it was the preseason where Puka ended up hitting big a couple of years ago. But he knows the offense. He's been there. McVay likes him. I mean, Adams is probably going to go crazy against, is it Jacksonville, I think? Yeah, he's probably going to go crazy there. But, yeah, Whittington could certainly get 5 or 6 catches. And if you can get that, out of a kind of a desperation play, but a lot of times you'll find, again, I don't want to keep harping on the tight end thing because people do need to throw players into the receiver spots. You got like Mason Taylor, who'll probably get all the targets for the Jets. Kate Otten is another one that's going to get a ton of. You know how I feel about Kate Otten.
BDO.
BDO.
Big Daddy Otten.
So, Big Daddy Otten.
Oh my
Lord.
Lord.
He's a guy. Get a room, you two. I think he's going to crush. I think he's going to crush this week. But Whittington's a guy that, in the fab, where you had to put in the fab to get him. If you got him, you're probably starting him, especially if you see a Puka and he's out.
Right.
Did I see that? Now the name is escaping me. I'm ready to the Raider guy, the big shot Raider guy, Bowers. He practiced. I thought I saw it today.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
I haven't
Good.
Hopped on today. That would be great. That would be awesome.
Michael Mayer is one of these names if he doesn't play.
Yeah,
correct.
Boy,
exactly.
There wasn't any reason that I would have seen a tweet telling us that Mayer practiced. He's not been hurt, right? It had to be Bowers. There's Bowers and a receiver with the Raiders.
He had been hurt, but he played last week. Mayer.
Yeah, right.
So
Mayer, yeah.
I'm 99% sure I saw Bowers practice today.
Oh, that would be big.
Yeah, and a couple other receivers. Alec Pierce is one, Mike, that I think maybe you and I talked about before. Like, he's a guy big time has big time plays, right?
Yeah.
And so he's coming back off the concussion.
Downs
I
hurt.
think they could certainly feed him. Downs is hurt. You know, the other receiver dropped the ball at the goal line. I think he was inactive last week. So I really like Alec Pierce.
Want a deep dive name? Chris Moore.
Ooh.
Washington in a great matchup. All the cornerbacks, all the DBs are hurt, and they're down McLaurin and Noah Brown. So
Luther Burden, there's another one. I think they're going to try to get him a little bit more. DJ Moore's playing this week, but Luther Burden for Chicago could be a guy.
right, these are hard times. I mean, you got to dig in. Let's talk Bills here, if you don't mind.
Do we have to?
I know. Well, I recognize what I want to ask you was probably also a question last year, but like it's 6 weeks in, and I mean they're still a contender. We're talking with fans every day, and a lot of people are kind of ready to give up, it seems. But I don't know. It's too early for that, I think. But again, in terms of fantasy, you can't really start anybody except for Allen and Cook. I mean, I'm talking about receivers. Mm-hmm. Do you think Kincaid has moved up a level where you'd want to start him every week going forward, or is he even a little bit too fragile for that?
No, he's a guy definitely. He's a guy like Cook and Kincaid are like the two guys this year that you can really count on to kind of go out there and score when Kincaid's healthy and the Bills are humming. Obviously, when the Bills struggle on offense, you can't really start any of them. Or I mean, you're gonna start them anyways, but they're really tough to kind of get behind. Especially Cook. I mean, again, when he's not scoring 40-yard touchdowns, he's kind of useless. They don't use him in the 2-minute drill. He doesn't get goal line carries. He doesn't get receptions. And that's been the same story this year, And when he snaps off, when they play bad teams, they're up by big, and they can just kind of keep pounding him. He's great, but other than that, and it's amazing how Allen just still gets the fantasy points every single week, considering he's kind of playing with maybe a bottom 5 receiving core in the NFL as far as fantasy is concerned. So, you don't really. I mean, Coleman, I would never start Coleman unless I absolutely had to. We're talking about guys like Tutu Atwell. I guess I would start Coleman with, over Atwell, but, the Bills are on a bye this week. But, yeah, I don't want to start any receivers. Even Shakir, he's got to score. Because if he doesn't score, it's 4 catches for 60 yards, So,
yeah.
Cook I'm starting. Kincaid I do really, really like. I mean, he's a talented player. He's just always hurt. So, but I think they've been force-feeding him the ball when he's in there.
Yeah, I wonder if that is something as they're self-scouting here. His health might be a reason for how they handle him and what his snap share is, but all of the advanced stuff on him, as far as his productivity and their productivity as an offense, with him on the field and him targeted, all that stuff, he looks like the most important guy in that offense, but he's playing half the snaps. So I wonder if they trust his health, whether that'll tick up like, I don't think it'll get like in the 80s, but, another, I don't know, from 50% to like 65, 70, maybe even 75. Like he seems to be the trigger for a lot of the good that their offense can do.
Yeah, and maybe that's something that they change coming out of the bye week. Granted, he's coming off an injury, but maybe they play him more. I think it was 2 weeks ago against the Patriots. He had the 3rd most snaps out of the tight ends or something. It's like, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe they got to force it in there. Maybe they just got to play him more and be less predictable. Because teams know when he's out there, he's getting the ball because he's barely out there. So maybe they just play him more and use him as a decoy when he's not getting the ball. So Kincaid, Cook, I think are the 2 keys to this offense moving forward. I'm not. The Bills were 3-2 last year. They're 4-2 now. They lost to 2 teams that they shouldn't have, but yeah, I think they'll right the ship coming out of the bye week, and I think you'll see Kincaid, a healthy Kincaid, dominate like he did the week before he got hurt.
With Adam Krautwurst, full-time fantasy, Mike Schopp and the Bulldog on WGR. Week 7 underway with Pittsburgh's loss in Cincinnati last night. 2 Monday night games coming up with Tampa, Detroit, which is pretty good. Houston, Seattle could be all right as well. Let's talk quarterback. I've got a lot of Justin Fields, and you might too. And here's Fields in a position at 0-6, where one might wonder if he'll even finish a game. I mean, these kind of things happen. And if they can't beat anybody, look out, right? I mean, the floor could just go away. They have Carolina this week. There are a half dozen or so quarterbacks right in that same range in terms of projections where you might have to decide between Fields and the others. One being Bo Nix or Jackson Dart in the same game, Giants at Denver. Do you have a general thought on Fields? Like, if you have him, maybe you have somebody else. Like in normal leagues, you're going to have somebody else probably too. In some of our best ball stuff, you could be like, you just kind of need Justin Fields, which is not a great feeling right now. But Fields versus Dart, Nix, Caleb Williams, maybe another, Daniel Jones, maybe another. There's a cluster of players there where you could find yourself making a really tough decision.
Yeah, Fields is so scary, right? Because he could be 30, he could be 3. And the thing that stinks this week is this could have really been a get-right game for him. Carolina is a pass-funnel defense, meaning they don't allow many rush yards at all. They might be the best run defense in football, but they allow a ton of receiving yards. And, of course, Garrett Wilson's hurt, so this could have been, a really big week for Fields and Wilson. And so you're really hoping for 80 yards rushing and a score for Fields, and who knows? That's not easy to do. So it really depends. Like, I've got a lot of Matt Stafford, Justin Fields teams, and I think it just depends on, hey, do I need that 30-point week? Or, like, looking at the projection of what the team I'm playing against, am I projected to win? What does his team look like? Do I want the safer bet in Stafford, although now Puka's out? Or do I want, Fields, am I okay getting 7 from my quarterback? And for Fields owners, if you have the bench space, I might consider picking up to Tyrod Taylor because, again, it's like a Joe Flacco thing. Like you get kind of an older, experienced guy in there that can just knows the offense and can just keep the offense on the field and keep the ball moving. I think it wouldn't hurt to pick up a Tyrod Taylor because he's kind of Justin Fields light with the rushing too. So, but this week, I was really heavy on Aaron Rodgers this week actually. He had a great game last night, but if you think you need a huge spike week from your quarterback, I'm starting Fields. If not, you could play a little safer. I'm going with the Staffords, the Trevor Lawrences. Jackson Dart, I'm off of this week. I think that Denver's a really good defense, and he relies a lot on his rushing, and they don't have a lot of weapons there, so I could see a really bad game coming from Jackson Dart.
What about Stroud at Seattle?
Yeah, Stroud's a great one. He's coming off a bye. His weapons are healthy though, so okay.
Stroud over Fields.
Again, Stroud is a guy that I would kind of put in that mix of safety over the upside of Fields. But at Seattle's such a tough place to play. But I like kind of Christian Kirk. He's another one in that receiver range to kind of come in and get maybe 6 or 7 catches because he's back. He's getting a little bit healthier. And now coming off the bye, maybe they start to force him the ball a little bit.
What about Bryce Young? Same game.
Oh man, I'm a big Tet McMillan guy. They get Jalen Coker back this week, I think.
Yes.
And Coker had a great preseason for them. I like him. I like him. He does have the rushing upside too. I would start Bryce Young over Justin Fields. It's just the run defense for Carolina is so good. I could see another performance like he had against Denver, where it's like if he's not rushing for 80 yards, he might be benched by like halftime.
How about Penix at San Francisco?
I like Penix.
Okay.
I got Penix in my top 15 this week. They're
really?
humming. They had a weird game against Carolina. We lost like 30-0.
Yeah.
But other than that, like he looks the part. He's getting the ball to the guys. I think they're getting the receiver. I'm losing my
Darnell Mooney, maybe.
Yes, I think they're getting Mooney back. So you got he's got a lot of weapons there. Jake Matthews is hurt though. I think they're left tackle, so that could be interesting. But Penix looks good. He looks the part, and ride that hot hand.
I got to find a guy that Adam would play Fields over. Wentz. What about Wentz?
Yes. Fields over
Wentz
sure.
in a revenge game.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I would start Fields. I would start Fields over Dart, over Rattler, over Tua,
Gabriel,
Wentz, Gabriel, Brissett. I'd start him over. I would have started him over Joe Flacco, but I would have been wrong there. So
we don't know that yet.
Yeah,
That's right.
Cam Ward.
oh yeah, so over Cam Ward.
All right. There are some. Good.
Circling all the way back to receiver injuries, Mike Evans didn't practice today, but the word is that that's okay. It was like part of the plan. They play Monday night, and I think it's tracking like he's going to be back.
Is that right? Cool.
That's what I'm hearing. For Big Daddy Otten's sake, I hope it's not the case. I hope he sits another week and we can roll Otten out there. But yeah, setting lineups too. It's just with Thursday night games and Sunday morning games and 2 Monday night games, you have to make decisions that like you don't want to make on like a Thursday because you just don't know with Monday night games if they're going to play or not. So generally, it takes me back to like the COVID years where you're just like, hey, if a guy's active on Thursday night, I'm playing him because I know he doesn't have COVID. So it's like you're leaning towards the guys that are, like we had a Gainwell. Like, is it Gainwell or is it some guy that's questionable for Monday night? Like, I can't wait. I have to decide now. So it's been tough this year.
So much of it is just like the psychology, the psychological effects of this. Like, in a vacuum, you don't want to start a Gainwell over. Well, some of our options, we had this yesterday, but I'm like you, like I push for it. But then when it busts, you feel like a chump. I mean, that's just like, why did we do that? But
yeah, for sure.
If you don't get that sudden injury or something on Sunday, you're going to feel real dumb. Like with Survivor, Bulldog and I play in these Survivor pools. And I mean, I'm usually bad at it. And I just want to pick the team that I'll feel the worst, the least bad about if I'm wrong.
Right. If I'm wrong, right.
If I pick a big favorite and they lose, well, I had a lot of company. But if I take a chance and lose, then I'm going to feel stupid for it. So try to do it like that.
That's the Justin Fields thing, too. It's like if he gets benched at halftime, like, what was I thinking? Like, he's got no healthy receivers. It's like he hasn't been good in weeks. Like, what was I thinking?
Right. I literally talked about this possibly happening, and here I am, still acting surprised. I don't know. All right. Big weekend for you or what?
It's always a big weekend. Big soccer weekend. Hey, listen, congrats to the North Star Christian Knights with a 1 seed for sectional soccer. So we got a big weekend coming up, and football, and don't worry about the Bills. So that's good.
They'll be gunning for you as the top seed. You know that. You'll have a target on your back. So look out.
Just told them that. Just told them that. Okay?
I believe it. All right. Thank you, Adam.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Adam Krautwurst, Full-Time Fantasy. He and I have hosted the Deep End podcast. We didn't do much of that this year, but maybe I guess I could have asked him that too, whether we'll be back in 2026. Possibly. Football Friday on WGR. Your calls are welcome at 803-0550. Do you feel better or worse about the Bills' chances of winning big this year compared to how you felt before the season? We'll look for your calls after the update. Right now it's time for a break. We'll be back in a snap. That's brought to you by Snapdragon Apples, the official apple of the Buffalo Bills.
Sabres back at practice earlier today as they get ready to host the Florida Panthers tomorrow afternoon. Matthias Samuelsson was on the ice today. He should be ready to go for tomorrow afternoon. Same, though, cannot be said for Justin Danforth. He is expected to miss more than a month with a lower body injury, according to head coach Lindy Ruff. And then some other injury notes. Michael Kessering had a rehab skate today, and then Jordan Greenway was on the ice for practice, albeit in a non-contact jersey. We'll get more on the Sabres. Paul Hamilton joins the show in just about an hour at 5:30. 4 games tonight in the NHL, 2 at 7. The Lightning are in Detroit versus the Red Wings, and Washington hosts the Minnesota Wild. At 8:30, Chicago hosts the Vancouver Canucks. Then at 9, the Mammoth have the San Jose Sharks in town. Around the NFL, some keynotes for this weekend. Carson Wentz gets a start at quarterback for Minnesota this Sunday when they take on Philly. Puka Nacua is out for the Rams this Sunday morning when they take on Jacksonville due to an ankle injury over in Europe. And then a note from today, Raiders tight end Brock Bowers was seen participating in practice. We'll see if that means anything for this weekend. The Raiders take on KC this Sunday. Then in baseball, Game 5 of the ALCS, Seattle plays host to Toronto tonight with first pitch just after 6. Bryce Miller and Kevin Gausman are your starters tonight. And a fun note for this series, so far no home team has won a game. And then at 8:30, Dodgers looking to sweep the Brewers at home. Jose Quintana and Shohei Ohtani are your starters for that one. It's Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
Yeah, listen, I have a lot of confidence in Bobby and defensive staff. I thought they made some real good adjustments last night in the second half in particular. At halftime, we came out and played really well after half. But overall, again, within our building, I'm confident in the people in our building, whether it's this situation or other situations, that we can get the job done.
Sean McDermott, I can't tell you that I know he's not being honest there. I wouldn't want to say that, but I imagine if he said the opposite. I'm not confident in our people. Just like, what is the value of the comment? And I do this a lot, and whenever I do it, I try to say that McDermott would concur. Be like, I know. Why do they even ask me these questions? What do they think I'm going to say? I'm not confident at all in my staff or players. Next. Just try that one. See if you can slip that by them. Sorry, Sean, what? Did you say that you're not confident? No. Did I? I'm not, but I don't think I said it. Just see what... If he did that, would we all just kind of think he was joking and not even talk about it?
No, we would definitely talk about it. We're talking about this. We talk about everything. So, but I think we would assume he was kidding.
Yeah.
Like if football season extended into April, maybe he would...
I'm not confident in any of this.
Do it at some point.
When are we going to get a new GM, too, by the way, since you got me going here? When are we going to replace – when is this team going to be sold?
When is this guy
let's talk Sabres now.
When is this guy going to get me some receivers?
Can I just get –
Imagine a world where – Sorry. All right, I'll stop. You got me going.
No, I mean – truth serum.
Right.
You might like to have some truth serum once in a while.
I mean, have you seen our safeties? What's Bobby supposed to call? He's doing a stand-up all of a sudden.
Right. It's a routine. Well, what do you think of the question? Do you feel more or less confident in the Bills winning big this year than you did before week 1? Or the same?
I feel like my default setting would tell you it's the same. And it mostly is, but I'm a little more worried. I'm a little more worried about the offense. You can tell every person we talk to that brings up the defense, including you even. So, I mean, you're not a person we talk to. You're here. I talk. Anyway, I'm right here with, like, they lost 23-20 and 24-14. We're talking about the defense? Because Bijan Robinson ripped off a big run? Like, I know the optics are bad, but they held them to a field goal in the second half. I could not move the ball. So that feels a little bit like, or really a lot like last year at this time. Really both things, right? The Baltimore, Derrick Henry ran all over me. But really, can I get open? Right? Can I do anything? The only offense they had in that Baltimore game, any kind of passing offense, was like a broken play off a scramble that went for big yards to Shakir. The Houston game was maybe more like this Atlanta game where it was worse than the Atlanta game production-wise, but, similar. It's not like Houston went up and down the field on you, but they got theirs and you couldn't move the ball, and then the Bills reacted to that. A week after that, right, they played another game. They beat the Jets barely, and then the Cooper trade was made this week last year. And I don't know. I mean, we've got a couple of more weeks here until we get to the trade deadline, but we've talked over and over it already this week. Reasons for and against. Do we think they'll do something specifically at receiver to try to jumpstart the offense? And I'm worried that they won't, and I don't know what their pivot is going to be. I really don't. If the whole thing hinges on Kincaid, and he's hurt again, and I don't know what the prognosis is. They're dark this week. They'll be up and running again next week after the bye week and all their time away. If they need Kincaid to sort of free up their whole offense, and they either A, can't count on him to be on the field because he's hurt, or don't want to overwork him because he'll get hurt, I don't really know what I'm going to do. I think a lot of teams at this point, it feels very likely, and I know this is the kind of thing that gets said a lot when a team is struggling, but I just think it's possible that defenses, they have a better idea. Well, it stands to reason they would. This offense has been on the field now for all of last season, half of the year before, and now these 6 games. And what are their tendencies? What do they do? What do they like to do? I wonder if defenses just don't have a good handle on it right now. And there is not a guy out there, a skill position guy out there that can just break it for them. So I'm more worried because it's a second year in a row where, a month and a half into the season, the offense sort of started spinning wheels in the mud. And they did get on track last year, of course, and ended up averaging 30 points a game. I just feel like that's going to get harder. I don't know if, even Amari Cooper, I think he had to have some impact. He must have had some, he helped them. I mean, their results improved anyway. Maybe they would have if they never made the trade. I can't know. But I'm worried they're not going to do something because they did it last year and because Bean is so dug in about this and this everybody eats thing. And I'm very edgy about it. The everybody eats, I think, is getting shot full of holes. And I just don't know if they have a direction to turn. I'm not sure what it will be if they don't add someone. If they add someone, then it's, okay, what is this person, right? Is it speed? Is it Rashid Shaheed? Like, that's not a number one receiver, but that's an asset that I think could help you. Is it his teammate Chris Olave? That is a number one receiver. That would be tumultuous, I think, if they did something like that. And I don't know that the Bills are in the business of tumultuous. So I'm worried about their offense more than I can't just say I'm the same as I was in the summer, because in the summer it's just, well, they did it last year, they'll do it again. And you could still say that if you might be right. But I'm shook, and I'm not sure what they're going to do about it.
I guess, I mean, I look at it somewhat differently. The Patriot game, I can just put in the turnover bucket and leave it alone. I mean, the Bills weren't perfect that night otherwise on offense, but I think that's why you lost. 3 turnovers, I would want to say, is why you lost. And then last week, I think what was interesting about Monday is they had a tough time blocking Atlanta. And they're behind and throwing more and kind of out of their element. They don't play many games like that. It happened, and it's not to be ignored. But I do kind of think that'll turn back around as they get back from the bye. A road Monday night game against a team you don't play, and they get out in front of you, and you're kind of maybe spooked by the middle of the second quarter. I think things just change for you. I mean, the Bills are front runners. And if Carolina can get a 2-touchdown lead on them, then maybe they're in trouble against Carolina too. But I don't expect that to happen very often. I think when I would say if I were to finger the offense as the bigger problem, which I've done many times because I feel like I'm from the school of I just really don't care that much about defense. I've got to outscore you. That's the only way I'm going to win it. I do think that that's changed a little in the last 3 years, but I still largely subscribe to that. I think they have the people. If they don't have Dalton Kincaid or Curtis Samuel for a game, maybe it didn't help them. They lost both and then Palmer right away. Like that probably threw them off at least some. But they still, like last year's team did not have names either. And Cooper really didn't do a lot. And they still won. I mean, they won 9 games in a row after they lost 2, something like that. Right. I mean, crazy. And they did it scoring 30 points a week. So I still want to think, I mean, they have the same line, they have the same quarterback, they have the same running back who's been just as good, I would say, for the most part this year. And many of the same skill players and the same coordinator. I kind of think it'll be the same offense. And I doubt that the 2 games, the Atlanta game, will get them away from. I think they'll want to return more to how they were playing before these losses, which is more around Cook and around running the ball. I think that can be okay. I think defensively, it's very possible they don't have the people. And if they can hold teams like you're maybe saying it when you're making these points, neither New England nor Atlanta, rolled up big scores on them to say something about what they are on defense, even without certain players. I think that the secondary, the linebackers, the run defense in general are very shaky. And I don't know, that makes them more beatable to me than in other years. I think their offense is mostly the same, and I think their defense is not. That their losses on D have added up, their age. 2 or 3 years ago, Daquan Jones was a force. Milano was a force. You had the safeties. You had, just quality at corners, different guys year to year. And right now, you don't really have any of that. And that worries me.
Yeah, I don't know where they're strong on defense right now.
No,
I really don't. Bosa gets to the quarterback. That's it. That's the only thing I think I really want to point to that they're doing really well. But yeah, I mean, my problem, not to spend too much time restating it, is despite all that, 23 and 24 points beat me. So that to me, I circle back to where's my 30? Where's my even 25? Either game, I just needed a little bit more, and I just never could get there. But yeah, I mean, I certainly don't. I don't disagree with any analysis that questions the defense. To me, I think it could be about what it's been. And what's falling short in these losses, to me, the defense did not get them beat. I mean, I know there were huge plays and wide open guys, but in the end, it was 24 points. So I need more from my offense. I think I'm going to expect to win every game I play if I'm holding you to 24 points. So I need to get my offense together. And the defense, I don't know where the standouts are and what they're good at, but they are going to have more. There's reinforcements coming, right? We've not seen them with Hoyt and Ogunjobi yet. I don't expect. I think Ogunjobi is Jordan Phillips 3 years ago, basically. I don't expect a big impact there, but maybe there's a play or two. Just take some heat off Oliver and Deion Walker, because those are the only 2 dudes you got really going now that Daquan Jones is sidelined again. We don't know how long that's going to be. Popped his calf muscle. I don't know what that ends up looking like timeline-wise. But in Hoyt, I think Hoyt could be an interesting piece that gives them a little more juice in different spots if they want to use on obvious passing downs Bosa and Rousseau and Hoyt together, all 3 of them. Maybe I can really catch some teams off guard, at least initially here. Hopefully the Kansas City game is there's not too much from the Carolina game for Kansas City to go to school on what they're doing with Hoyt, and he can be somewhat of a surprise for Kansas City by the time that game gets here in a few weeks. So they're definitely not without problems on that side of the ball. I don't want to ever sound like that. But I'm just worried that the offense is. I'm less optimistic than you are that the same people and the same coach are going to figure it out, because I think the longer the same people and the same coach are doing the same things, the more likely it is they have figured you out. And I'm not sure what my changeup is at this point. And again, there's not a player there that is a bolt of lightning that's going to go like, they're not getting Xavier Worthy back. Right? There is not a Michael Hoyt coming off of suspension on the offensive side of the ball that you're going to go, oh, that guy, wait till you see what we do with him. They've got who they got. Their team is on the floor. I mean, yes, Kincaid missed a game, but I'm accounting for him being there, and I'm accounting for Samuel or Elijah Moore, one of the two. To me, they're interchangeable. Neither one is really ever smashed or anything. I mean, I guess Samuel had some real positive impact near the end of last year finally, but there's just not a lot there. Either guy.
You never want to hear popped when it comes to muscles.
Right,
you never want to hear the word
that
popped.
Sounds bad to me.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Football Friday continues after this here on WGR. Welcome back. We'll talk some Sabres at 5:30 with Paul Hamilton and have picks at 6. Bulldog got one back on me last night. I went Pittsburgh. Whoops. RJ is with us. Hello.
Hey, guys. All week since the Bills lost their last 2 games, everybody's been talking about what we should do, who we should go get. I think that's the wrong question. The right question is Bean going to do it? Is he really going to go out there and step out of his comfort zone and go find somebody? Now, everybody says, we got Amari Cooper last year. And I heard today, which was a perfect question, what are we going to do with a guy if we even go get somebody? Are we going to use him the right way? Because I truly believe we didn't use Cooper the right way last year when you go out and put a pick out for somebody and you think you're bringing him in to make our team better. And the last thing, guys, and then I'll get off the phone, we're putting too much anxiety and too much stress on our quarterback to expect him to say, when we give up 23 or 23 points or 24 points, we expect him to win every game and then we should be in every single game. We expect the whole offense to do that, not just one man. And that's what I think Bean's been living on for the past 7 years.
Well, I don't know where we get the idea that making a move would be outside of Brandon Bean's comfort zone. I think he's wired for it. He's done it a number of times.
I think he's a wheeler dealer. I mean, if you're talking about receiver specifically this time around, because he, to me, it's just as likely he goes and adds a corner or a safety, which I think are the 2 biggest needs on the defense. Receiver, there's. I even alluded to it just a few minutes ago when I was talking about it. Like, will he do it because of the appearance? I mean, I think you should. If you run a team, things have changed. We don't have what I thought we had. This guy, Coleman's not developing like we thought he would, and we need to do something else. But it would look awkward, I think, for him to go get a receiver. It would be basically saying, like, yeah, my bad. I should not have picked a fight.
I think that depends on who. I think there are receivers where that would definitely be right, or not right, but how it's seen. And I'd probably respect him if maybe also at the same time questioning him for this, Ideally, it's always interesting to talk about this. We did yesterday, too. You wouldn't want that 1 point to hold him back. I know what I said.
Right.
But seasons are, organisms.
They're living, right. They're living things. It changes. You've got more information now than you had back in April after the draft. I would definitely respect it. I would not be in here making fun of him if he made a move. Because I think if it's warranted, that's your job. Go do your job.
But I would also predict that he thinks they're still okay. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. I just wonder where things stand internally. No Kincaid in the game, no Samuel in the game, no Palmer for most of the game. And even if you do have an assortment of pass catchers, that's probably going to put a dent into what you're planning to do. And I think you can say that it did on Monday night. Thanks, RJ. 803-0550 to join us. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
Folks, Bulldog
Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. Yeah. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. Oh, you seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over. It's about time. Oh, all sing your high line on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life. Roller coaster. I want to go down the rabbit hole, down the rabbit hole of life. And now it's about to leave. Oh, roller coaster. We've been living in sin so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. Yeah. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life.
Panthers tomorrow afternoon, and back in the lineup for them will be Matthias Samuelsson. He was on the ice today, and head coach Lindy Ruff said he should be good to go. The same cannot, though, be said for Justin Danforth. He is expected to miss more than a month with a lower body injury. And then some other injury notes. Michael Kesselring had a rehab skate today, and then Jordan Greenway on the ice for practice, albeit in a non-contact jersey. And we'll get more on the Sabres. Paul Hamilton's going to join the show in just about a half hour at 5:30. 4 games tonight in the NHL. 2 at 7. The Lightning are in Detroit versus the Red Wings, and Washington hosts the Minnesota Wild. At 8:30, Chicago hosts the Vancouver Canucks. Then at 9, the Mammoth have the San Jose Sharks in town. Keynotes in the NFL. Carson Wentz gets to start at quarterback for Minnesota this Sunday when they take on Philly. Puka Nacua is out for the Rams this Sunday morning, for this upcoming Sunday, as they will be taking on Jacksonville overseas, so it'll be a morning game. And then just out of San Francisco, they are ruling out quarterback Brock Purdy and wide receiver Ricky Pearsall for Sunday night when they take on the Falcons. Mac Jones is going to get the start at quarterback. And then in baseball, Game 5 of the ALCS, Seattle plays host to Toronto. Tonight's first pitch just after 6. Bryce Miller and Kevin Gausman are your starters tonight. Then at 8:30, Dodgers looking to sweep the Brewers at home. Jose Quintana and Shohei Ohtani are tonight's starters. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
They have this Panther sound effect that is just the cheesiest, stupidest sounding thing. Big voice guy going, Panther goal scored by Sam Reinhart. Where'd you get that thing?
I trapped it. Been keeping it in my bathroom at the motel, feeding it old pizza.
It's Mike Schopp.
If you're calm, that wondrous big cat will be calm too. But if you're scared, that beautiful death machine will do what God made it to do. Namely, eat you with a smile on its face.
And the Bulldog. On WGR Sports Radio 550.
The Friday Drive at 5 is brought to you by Northtown Hyundai, Western New York's premier Hyundai dealership. Shop online at northtownhyundai.com. By Northwest Bank for what's next. Get started at northwest.com. And by Excelsior Orthopedics Express. Sideline with a sprain, strain, or break. Get to Excelsior Orthopedics Express. Has it been a productive week? Are we any closer to important conclusions? Are we really just filling the void with these takes on the Bills? I guess this is by asking this, maybe I'm really asking, is it going to be okay? 1 year ago was pretty similar, and it was pretty okay until the seemingly inevitable loss in the playoffs to Kansas City. I can't tell you right now whether that's likely to happen again or whether it could or couldn't happen again. Of course it could, but I still think overall the Bills are the Bills. And if New England is good, that will be the complication because that could affect seeding and home field and all of that. Otherwise, I'm still trying to get the 1, but otherwise I'm not sure we're not tracking, sorry for the double negative, toward a season very much like they've had for the last 5 years.
I do think that is, despite everything we talked about in the last segment. I mean, I am, and I'm being honest, I am more concerned, but what did I say to someone midweek who called me? He's like, I'm more worried about this thing or that thing. And like, that's just, we're getting older. Like, it's another year. It's another year of Allen's career we're 6 games into it. And, yeah, sure, every one of these years at different times, it has looked like they didn't have it. And then they did. And that is important to keep in mind. I'm worried that isn't going to last forever, but it's still probably the most likely outcome is that they have their kind of regular year. Maybe they don't score 30. Maybe they score 28.5. I don't know. They are still, I think, a team, despite all the flaws that we are picking at. And yes, idle time. I mean, we don't have a game, and the timing of 2 losses could not have been worse. I mean, I don't know what we would have been doing if they won the way that they had been winning. We would have felt maybe insane picking at them with a 5-1 or 6-0 record or something. But I think them being fine in a league. Sal made this point again on his podcast I went to go watch last night. And he said the same thing to us when he last visited with us on Wednesday. They're not playing the Chiefs of 2021, and they're not playing the Ravens of last year. They're playing the AFC this year. And they're among the teams that have various issues that they need to sort out. Like nobody, unless you really believe in the Colts, which you are welcome to do at 5-1.
They've been really good.
They have. It's hard though to think that is going to be the team everybody's gunning for when it's all said and done. We'll see. I mean, they've got the lead right now, and that's deserves some level of respect. It's getting harder to just overlook them and assume they're going to tumble to earth here at some point. But everyone besides them has looked. But even they, they've gotten away with a couple things. But everyone else looks fallible in some way, right? I mean, the Chiefs right now look better the last 3 weeks than they looked for the first three. There's no question about that. The Bills look worse the last three than they did the first couple. They're probably fine. And yes, we're probably just killing time. I hate to admit that, but that probably is what's going on. I can't all the way believe anything though. Like I don't feel entirely that way. I really do feel a little more worried than I have been. But like I just said a few minutes ago, that's also the function of time. It's not so much that they have to be different. It's that I'm different. I'm waiting for you to deliver me the thing that's never happened, and we're another year into it, and it looks like some familiar problems are cropping up, and you think it's more the defense, and not necessarily you, but I do think you, and I think it's more the offense, and we're just going around and around here. Newsflash, they're not perfect. There is no perfect team out there. The question you've asked every one of our guests this week is a good question. Who is the best team in the league right now?
Would you start Justin Fields over Jackson Dart?
Not that one. Would you? You asked that of Adam Krautwurst. I don't know if you asked that of anyone else. Who's the best team in the league right now? Is it Tampa? Because they have the same record as Indianapolis, and they're a little more believable because their talent has been around longer. Baker Mayfield isn't a sudden reclamation. It's a year or two in now that he's been really good, and this year it's at even another level. Daniel Jones is just sort of brand new at. Oh, he's good. You're telling me now? So. I don't know who the best team is right now. Kansas City, I think, might be my answer.
Bengals. Obviously, you saw them last night. Unstoppable.
The Flacco-led Bengals.
Jamar Chase. How does Pittsburgh not have a move for Jamar Chase? Like, you don't have to shut him out, but just so easily off the line, open. Yeah. It was just like the playground.
Yeah.
Half of those completions to him were just super easy.
He caught 16 passes, and I can think of at least 2 passes he had both hands on that he didn't catch. He could have had 20 receptions last night, for crying out loud, or at least 18. Right, there was one down the sideline that he tried to one hand that he ended up really having both hands on, and then there was another one on the other side of the field, the same kind of thing.
He had one overturned right before halftime.
Oh, that's right, too.
And then the next play, they just threw it to him anyway. He's just open again in the same spot. Like, just come on, Steelers. Make a plan for him. If you just make it look good. Couldn't believe it. I mean, loved it. Finally, all these Jamar Chase 101 overall teams have life because that was 38 fantasy points. Appreciate it. Let's go to Pat here. Hi, Pat.
Hey, guys. I was glad to hear you were talking about this when I turned on the radio because I've been feeling a lot of this same deja vu this week. After Monday, I was looking through Pro Football Reference just because this cadence for the season has just felt so familiar. And if you look at the Bills' last, 5 or 6 seasons, there really is a fairly consistent pattern where they kind of have this good or great September. And then from late September to like early to mid-November, they're like a 500 football team, sometimes even worse. And then they typically finish really strong. And so every year it's kind of in the aggregate just been 11 to 13 wins. And I brought this up with some friends, and somebody suggested they didn't think this was just a coincidence. They thought that it could be explained by some, sort of intentional, I don't know if I'd call it personnel moves or load management, but sort of this like, well, we get off to a fast start. We're going to be conservative with bringing players back from injury, or conservative in the types of plays we're calling or game scripts we have, and then try to get to, January as healthily as possible. And, I don't necessarily have any empirical evidence to back that up. I was just curious if you found that interesting, or if you thought it could be explained by something else, or if you just thought this was kind of a coincidence. But I'll hang up and listen.
Okay. I mostly don't see a pattern other than that they have finished very strong most of these years. I mean, their losses have not all been – it's nearly identical to last year, this.
Right.
But that's really it. And, maybe there's something to – we talk about it like it's normal, being a big favorite, whether that shows in your game plan or who doesn't play in a given week. The Bills, whether or not they've done it, they've been able to afford it. And this year, it might feel a little tougher, if it's even a real thing. You lose to New England at home. I doubt you go into Atlanta with an extra day to prepare, cautiously. I wouldn't think the Bills did that. So,
yeah, it is not exactly right that they've been great in September and then sort of, muddling along in October, November. They've lost the opener a couple of times. I mean, they lost the opener 2 years in a row. And then, won 3 or 4 in a row. And then eventually the 2-game losing streak is in there a couple of years. 1 year it's December. The year before that it's November. Last year it was early, like around now. And this year it's around now. You hope it stops here at 2 and doesn't grow to 3 eventually. So I don't see an exact pattern. Starting hot, but losing your opener doesn't really line up. And that's happened a couple of times. Pittsburgh and the Jets got them. In 21 and 22, I think it is respectively.
21 and 23.
21 and 23.
It could have happened this year.
Yeah, 22 they won. Yeah, they won in LA in 22. So
easily could have happened this year too.
Yeah, that's right.
Opening night.
Yeah. So it doesn't exactly track. The thing that is consistent is there's 2 games somewhere where they lose. Right? It's not always that they're not scoring. Like one of those 2 losses in a row was a Minnesota game where they scored 30 points. It's one of the dopiest losses you'll ever see in your life. But it's not like they were slumbering on offense in that game. They just got beat by some just crazy, crazy things that happened in that ball game. So, yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to see a pattern like the caller is talking about. But the 2 in a row, I think that, though, largely is – that's the league. Like, most teams in a season – like we know this. I think we say it every summer, but then the games start, and as soon as the record is not as sterling as we want it to be, or there's a loss against a team that they were expected to beat or favored to beat or whatever. I mean, it's tough. They're favored to beat almost everybody they play every week. As soon as that happens, it's like, oh my God, what's wrong? Like. Like you sort of started this segment. Maybe nothing is wrong. It's the NFL. And so, you're going to have these dips in your season, and hopefully they don't last very long. And in the Bills' case, they've been very good at avoiding anything prolonged. While they've had the 2 in a row every year, and, there's years where they've lost more than 3 or 4 games, too. But they never get to 3 or 4 losses in a row. It's 2, and then at least a win before another loss.
I mean, if they lose to Carolina, that will be alarming.
Yes.
Off a bye.
Yes.
That's 3 straight. When are the Sabres going to win 10 in a row? And when are we going to start making that a point of emphasis in here? That sign, Operation 10 Straight, has been sitting on the floor. I mean, nothing ever leaves this room. So once it gets in here, it never gets out.
Yeah.
But it's been sitting on the floor since last season ended. And they won Wednesday.
Well, so the sign
says 9.
The sign is accurate right now. It says 9 to go.
9 to go.
That was where it got left off last year. So it has not been touched, but right now it fits.
I mean, we'll
see if it gets changed if they win Saturday.
Yeah, that'll be the sign.
Right.
Literally.
Right.
If somebody updates the sign
right
after that win, beating Florida. And then what is it next week? Monday,
Montreal in Montreal Monday, and then Detroit, I think, Wednesday home, and then home with Toronto on the weekend.
Oh, I think I have tickets.
I think Toronto is Friday here, and then I think maybe are they up there next Saturday? But it's three games: Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday on the road, Wednesday, Friday at home.
And they're all at 7:30.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
No, I want to.
It's unfortunate.
I want to. Yes, not a huge fan of that. No.
Michael is next. Hello.
Hey guys. So to bounce back to the Bills for a minute, something that I've noticed, and I feel like a lot of Bills fans probably have too subconsciously, is that from the minute that Keon Coleman got to training camp in his first game, even, in the Falcons game, I've started to notice the location of his targets. Like, he gets a lot of back shoulder balls. I don't know if you guys have ever really picked up on that, but a ton of his targets.
I mean, we have eyes. It's impossible to miss. That is almost entirely what he gets. Yes.
Yeah. So as I've started to notice, Keon's best plays at FSU and the moments that he's flashed here when he's not having to be that like smooth operator. Like, you think of the best back shoulder guys like Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, like Antonio Brown. Like, obviously Keon he's not that. So it's just, I think the best way to, maybe avoid the whole moving into the slot conversation or avoid the separation conversations is just giving him more room on these targets with the ball higher up in the air, maybe more over the middle of the field, where he can just not worry about anything but using his length to attack the ball at the highest point. Because I think there's a lot of things that go into a back shoulder ball that require a lot more than just freak athleticism. It's timing. It's, there's a lot that goes into it where I just don't think he's that kind of receiver. So maybe just more targets that are up in the air where he can jump, he can box out and not have to worry about twisting and getting his feet in. I think that's been a big issue with the target location in his career.
I think you're right. I mean, your observation is right. I just don't know what the potential is for expanding Keon Coleman. I mean, you can come up with different ideas, as you've done, and maybe the Bills will think it a priority to do that. Maybe they should. But I'd be a little surprised. I think it still runs. I don't think he's been impressive enough for the Bills to necessarily want to kind of go in a different direction with him or with their offense. That's what this would be. Like, that would be going in a different direction somewhat with their offense. I think when they get back, they're going to look like they've looked. They're going to want more from Cook than they've gotten in the two losses. They're going to want more from Shakir than they've gotten in the two losses, especially Monday. Monday looked like the table was set for him to have a nice night, and that didn't really happen. And, maybe Kincaid is back. I think I'm guessing that for the most part, at least, they are satisfied with who they are and what this will end up being. Or I'm wrong, and they're scrambling after two losses. But, with the injuries and the turnovers against New England, I wouldn't predict that. I just wouldn't. You want to make adjustments always, and they have the bye to do it. But I'm thinking they're going to look like they've looked, at least in terms of how they want to play.
On Coleman specifically, the way the caller is describing it, it's very interesting. And I don't know that this is absolutely correct, but I feel like a part of the value, part of the difficulty in defending the back shoulder throw is the threat of the guy running by you, right? Like think about when you're watching the game, even, and that pass gets thrown and the receiver stops for it. The separation is created because the defender is worried about the player getting past him. And that's the value of that tactic. I don't know that anybody is worried about Keon Coleman getting past them. So you just have to sort of stay with him, and I don't think you have to give him room to worry about him blowing your doors off. And so other than that, I don't know what do you want Josh Allen to throw the ball more precisely out of the reach of the defender 20 yards down the field? Like, okay, maybe that can happen. I think that tactic works. That plan works when you are worried about the guy getting by you and he stops and he's created separation because of his route running, his acumen, his speed. And I don't think Coleman is long in any of those. He's big and he can jump. He doesn't have particularly good hands. I don't know, man. I'm that whole thing is looking shakier by the game to me. And I doubt that they are of the mind right now to, let's find a way to get him off.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Thanks for the call, Michael. Paul Hamilton coming up. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, WGR.
Please, God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans.
Bulldog here for Dashes Marcus.
It's taking over. It's about time. Oh, sing your high line on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life. Roller coaster. I want to go down the rabbit hole, down the rabbit hole.
earlier today, they will be hosting the Florida Panthers tomorrow afternoon, and one player will be back in the lineup, Matthias Samuelsson. He was on the ice today, and head coach Lindy Ruff did confirm he should be back tomorrow. The same, though, cannot be said for Justin Danforth. He is expected to miss more than a month with a lower body injury. And then some other injury updates. Michael Kesselring had a rehab skate today, and Jordan Greenway on the ice, though in a non-contact jersey. We'll get more on the Sabres. Paul Hamilton joins the show next, so do stay tuned for that. 4 games tonight in the NHL, 2 at 7. The Lightning are in Detroit versus the Red Wings, and Washington hosts Minnesota. 8:30 sees Chicago hosting the Vancouver Canucks. Then at 9, the night will wrap up with the Mammoth having the San Jose Sharks in town. For the NFL, some keynotes to keep an eye on for this weekend. Carson Wentz gets the start at quarterback for Minnesota this Sunday when they take on Philly. Puka Nacua is out with an ankle injury for this Sunday morning's clash with Jacksonville. That game's going to be over in Europe. And then the 49ers, they have ruled out quarterback Brock Purdy and wide receiver Ricky Pearsall for Sunday night's game against the Falcons. Mac Jones will get the start at quarterback. And then in baseball, Game 5 of the ALCS, Seattle plays Toronto. That first pitch coming up in about a half hour at 6. Bryce Miller and Kevin Gausman, your starters tonight. While at 8:30, the Dodgers are looking for the sweep of the Brewers at home. Jose Quintana and Shohei Ohtani are your starters for that one. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
Paul, I'm not sure you're so inclined here. Paul's game for a good fantasy question or two. I believe him to be.
Just go right ahead. Fantasy, speaking of fantasy, housekeeping from last hour, we talked with Adam Krautwurst about Brock Bowers. I mentioned how he had practiced today. He's listed as doubtful now officially for the game. And Mike Evans practiced limited yesterday, didn't practice today, so tomorrow is the telling day. They play Monday night. So nothing definitive there, but Bowers doubtful doesn't sound good.
And I think we can fire up George Kittle.
Right.
Paul, do you want to fire up? Have you ever fired up George Kittle in your life?
Never had George Kittle on my team, so...
This is the time.
No, I've got George Kittle. Make me an offer.
Paul can't have him if you have him.
We have him. Owen and I. We jointly run this team. Although
Bulldog,
I didn't.
I wish you would have told me that we were going to do a fantasy segment here and not a hockey segment, because I would have been really looking forward to it all day, especially doing it with you.
Wow.
I'm not sure I can unravel that.
I'm not sure I want to pivot to hockey, because it sounds like you're going to be sad if we talk about the Sabres, and I don't want sad Paul.
Yeah, was that the point?
Like, what's happening now?
I have no plans for a whole segment here. I've got the whole weekend to talk to myself. So you can call me if you want, but yeah,
Paul,
just a Kittle update.
I need you here, bro. I don't need you opening the door to an entire fantasy segment.
Oh, I think it'd be a lot of fun.
It is sometimes fun.
Great.
Anyway, the Sabres start 0-3 and then blow out Ottawa on Wednesday night. How good of a performance was Wednesday?
Well, once it got going in the second period, the first period actually wasn't really too much better than what we had seen. They had 3 shots on goal, none 5-on-5. All 3 came on a power play, which they scored on, by the way. But they didn't have any 5-on-5 shots at all. And the goal they scored was a shot that went over the net, hit the back glass, came back, hit the back of the goalie, and went in. So that's one of the 3 shots that they had. And it got going basically because the Sabres had a parade to the penalty box.
Yeah.
You know, Byram got a penalty, Ottawa scores. Nobody really sees the puck. I won't say nobody. I had said to Brian right away, I said, that went in the net. I mean, I could see it from a top that it went in. And then all of a sudden the fans weren't too happy about it.
Oh, the scramble goal there where the puck leaked in through his skates? Yeah.
And then Lindy Ruff challenges it for goaltender interference. That makes the fans angrier.
Yeah.
And then Lindy Ruff takes a penalty because it's not they decide it's not goaltender interference. And then Alex Tuck takes a penalty, which the fans didn't like at all. So you could feel the building getting edgy.
It was it's 2-1 at that point, right?
Right.
And it felt like the game was teetering.
Right. But the fans were getting mad at the refs, and when that happens, you start getting energy in the building.
Okay.
And then on the tuck penalty is when they get the shorthanded
McLeod
goal.
scores the shorty, yeah.
Yeah, the place just erupts. And they go from there, and then they play exactly the way Lindy Ruff wants them to play, with speed. There were guys all over around the net. They were winning battles. They were getting to the battles first. They were winning the battles. They were playing hard. It just changed everything. And that's exactly the way he wants them to play. And if anytime they want to play a hockey game like they did the last 40 minutes of that game, they'll be in any game and win a lot of hockey games.
We'll get to Benson, who made his season debut, and what a great night it was for him with 4 assists. Paul, I thought, especially the front part of the game, Josh Doan was, I felt like, in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he just really, and there was even, before the onslaught started, there's a back check that he makes that I'm just like, this guy is just, he's just a dog. I mean, he is just laying it out there. He's got to be on a fast track to becoming a fan favorite.
Well, exactly. And that's exactly what I told you when they traded for you. I said, one of the things I said, I don't know, there could be an upside scoring. I don't know if we're going to see the upside or not. But what I can tell you is he will be in the middle of everything. That's exactly how I put it, just exactly how you put it, Bulldog. He's going to be in the middle of a forecheck. He's going to be in the middle of scrums. He's going to be in front of the net. He's going to be hard to knock down. He's going to be slapping people around in front of the net. He's going to get under their skin. He's going to be first in on the forecheck. He's going to be the type of player that I think people in Buffalo are really going to enjoy watching play. Now, is there an upside scoring? He had 3 assists. Now, those aren't goals, but assists are just as good as goals. If you're leading 2 goals,
right,
it doesn't matter who really scores them. I think he's made a very good first impression. It wasn't just this game either. I mean, he's pretty much made an impression on me almost every game I've watched him so far of the 4. And he's going to be a guy I think people in this town enjoy.
And I guess for anyone who, while the Sabres were floundering and they're losing their first 3 games, that wanted to say, "Oh, come on, Zach Benson's that important." I mean, I don't know. Wednesday's pretty strong, compelling evidence that he is that important.
Well, I was concerned. I talked to you guys about this. You got to have more than 28 points if you're going to play in the top 6.
Right.
And that was the only concern of his game that I had. Nothing else about his game I don't have any concern about at all. But it's just like, and I always felt that there is an upside to him, and he's going to get his points eventually. It's just he's got to learn how to get the points in the National Hockey League and get a little confidence in his offense. Well, he shows up, and he's exactly what the Sabres weren't doing in the first 3 games. I mean, his game is just like Doan's game, but he's a little more of the rat than Doan is. I mean, he will absolutely get under the other team's skin, and they'll be chasing him all over the ice. That's exactly what the dose of Zach Benson is exactly what this team needed. And then it gets a little contagious. It's like, well, if Doan can do it and Benson can do it, I guess I can do it too. And, now you've got a bunch of guys hanging around the net, and a bunch of guys screening the goaltender, and a bunch of guys going to the corner and winning battles, and a bunch of guys jumping into scrums. And it just becomes a contagious thing. And next thing you know, he's got, we thought 3 assists. It was about 11:30 at night he got the 4th. All of a sudden they changed the scoring. It was the second goal by Quinn where they added an assist to him, so that's where he picked up. I asked him today, I said, all right, you had 98 points in your last year in junior. I said, you would have had to have 4 assists somewhere, wouldn't you? And he goes, oh, that's a good question. He goes, I don't know. He goes, yeah, wouldn't you think? He goes, I had like 62 assists or whatever. And I go, well, you would think you'd had 4 in a game. He goes, yeah, you would think that because I can't remember if I did or I didn't.
Yeah.
I wonder if they might have given him some assists at 11:30 some night and he didn't know it.
Right. Well, Paul, that line, at least on Wednesday, was Benson with Thompson and Tuck, and practice was a little different today. Kulik, after being I don't know. You tell us what was going on with Kulich during the week, because I heard Lindy talk about it, and I'm not sure if they were just making an example out of him or mad at how he was playing or what was going on there, but he was back up top today centering Thompson and Benson, wasn't he?
He was there at some points during the Ottawa game, too.
Okay.
Once Danforth went out.
That's right.
They were
the
short
juggle
forward.
Yeah.
So I think they might have finished the game that way with him at center. And excuse me one second. It was in practice before the Ottawa game. He was centering Gertzen and Greenway, which means he wasn't playing.
Right.
He was on the fifth line. And, Lindy will do that sometimes, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to play the next day. And Lindy said it's not been good enough. It hasn't even been remotely good enough, the way he's played. And he goes, I wanted to see how he would react to it. And I don't know if he's going to play tomorrow. Was what he said after practice. And
on Tuesday, right?
Yeah, and then the game rolled around, and he decided he's going to play him. And he goes, I want to see his response. And quite frankly, it wasn't very good. He was -2 on the game. I don't think he played all that well. I don't think he improved at all. And he did get the open net goal, the empty net goal. So maybe that will get him going, just to see a puck go into the net. But with Danforth out, and Lindy said afterwards, he was asked, what did you think of Kulich? And he's like, it's all right. He wasn't real thrilled about it. I understand why. I wouldn't have been real thrilled about it either if I was him. The kid's just not even close to what he was last year when he finished up. He's not playing well, and it's not. And he was careful to say, and he's right. He said, we're not blaming him. This isn't about him. Like he's the one that's holding everybody back. But you have 23 roster spots. You can't bench 8 guys. That was just the one that he just felt was really underperforming. So that was the one he took on. And but he's not, quote, benched because he is going to be centering Benson. And now this is the first time he's centered Benson and Thompson this year. He centered them a lot last year, and it went really, really well.
Right.
He was centering Zucker and Thompson while Benson was hurt. So we'll see how that goes and where that goes, and it allows Tuck to go to another line because Tuck and McLeod, I thought, looked really good together once they got rolling in the second period. That after that timeout, Lindy, that was a great timeout by Lindy Ruff because it was slipping.
Yeah,
and we've seen that movie how many times?
Yeah, for sure. 5-2 to 5-4, like
yeah. And next thing you know, you're down 6-5.
Right.
And so he called the timeout that used to drive me insane. How Granato would end with the game with his timeout when he could have called it and maybe done what Lindy Ruff did. And Lindy Ruff, if he wasn't really like screaming at his players, he basically was telling them, look, you guys are acting like you don't want the puck. He goes, want the puck, want to play with speed, want to keep going the way you were going. He goes, come on, just go get the puck and go with it. It took 17 seconds for Tuck and McLeod to look like they were shot out of cannons, come roaring up the ice. And, McLeod comes down with speed down the middle. They can't keep up with him. Tuck lays a perfect pass over to him, and it's in the net. And it took 17 seconds to do it. So, I thought Tuck and McLeod looked like a pretty good combination once the team got going in the second period.
Quickly, Paul, what's the timetable, if you know, on Luukkonen, and what changes when he's ready?
What changes is I think he'll wind up with a rehab assignment in Rochester, and that absolutely would be the right thing to do. He's played one period since April, so he hasn't really had much of a training camp. He's practicing, doing well, but and Lindy said that's a possibility. He didn't want to totally commit to it,
no.
But that's what makes sense. Is I would send him down there. But let's say they have the 3 games in 3. You can do that in the AHL. We'll have him play Friday, Sunday, get a couple of games in. But I think that would be the way to go, and I would be surprised if that's not the way they go.
Yeah, they haven't had any back-to-backs yet, so Lyon has played them all. But, I mean, how and again, this week, they don't have a back-to-back until next Friday, Saturday, right? Toronto Friday here, and then in Toronto Saturday. I'm just wondering, how long has it been since Lyon has played this many games in a row?
It's been a while. You know what? if I were the coach of the Sabres, I wouldn't want Ellis's first game in a back-to-back with Toronto. I would put Ellis in Montreal if it were me. And I asked Lindy about that today. He goes, well, yeah, anything's possible. It's a possibility because I'm worried about tomorrow's game, and then after tomorrow's game, I'll think about that.
Yeah.
So he did leave the door open for that. I would rather he start against the Montreal Canadiens than the Toronto Maple Leafs. Even if he plays the back-to-back against Toronto, I wouldn't want that to be his first NHL game.
Gotcha. Right.
So that's how I would do it, because you want Line to play against the Red Wings. I'm sure he would like to play against the Red Wings. So the Montreal game is what would make sense to me.
Thanks for this, Paul. Have a nice weekend.
You too, guys. Take care.
There you go. That's our man, Paul Hamilton, on the Wester Hotline. And Paul's appearances with us are always brought to you by Equitable Advisors. Planning for your future is about more than just money. Let Equitable be your guide. And by Raylax Honda. Raylax, we got this.
Florida tomorrow afternoon, 12:30? Or was that Monday? It was 12:30.
Monday, I think 1 o'clock is what I saw.
1 o'clock?
Tomorrow, yeah. Yeah,
right.
1 o'clock is correct.
So pregame at noon.
Right.
Then off to Montreal Monday night. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Football Friday, as we call it. Coming up with more. We've got picks at 6. This is WGR.
We've been living in sin so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. Yeah. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. You seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over. It's about time. Oh, all sing your high line on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life. Roller coaster. I want to go down the rabbit hole, down the rabbit hole. fella stop me on the street.
Enter at WGR550.com for your chance to win a home heating system, courtesy of T-Mark Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Whether your home needs a furnace, boiler, or ductless heat pump, T-Mark's got you covered. The last day to enter is October 26th, 2025. That's got to be tough for anybody. I mean, not to make excuses. Those are just words that really don't work together in that sequence. Ductless heat pump.
Yeah, I told you I was going to do that for you yesterday.
Ductless heat pump.
I ran in here late and didn't get a chance. Yeah. I agree. It's a tough combination of words.
That's what it's called. It's what it's called. I don't mean to blame anybody, but it's a tough one. For me, it's a tough one. Blue Jays Mariners at 6. What did you think of Scherzer going off like that?
Excuse me. Hang on. Sorry about that. I thought it was really interesting that the manager seemed to have a story ready for it. Right? Like he's like, I've been waiting for him to do that to me all year long. So like, I don't know if that's just him playing down the guy, yelling at him like that, but I think I think it works. It works out. You know, he gets out of that inning and then goes back out there and gets 2 more outs. I think right in the top of the 6th. And so it adds to the legend of the gritty, gutty, older pitcher guy. But I mean, if he'd gotten touched up, it would have looked pretty bad.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm just old school when it comes to that stuff. Like, it's such a bad look. Let the manager manage, right? You're not going to get to pitch the whole game. I recognize all the points against this, you know, how intense he is and how big the stakes, how high the stakes are, everything like that. It was a wonderful outing. Like, I watched maybe 3 innings of it, and he was dealing. Like, he looked vintage last night. Seattle, I think, is off its game. But, you know, that's a credit to the pitcher.
Yeah.
But, you know, just how do you not sort of have the maturity to take it inside, right? I mean,
yeah.
I didn't like it. But I loved watching him pitch. It was great, and I'm loving that the Blue Jays are off the map.
Did you see this? He got his curveball maybe is the pitch he throws the least of, and he got maybe 4 strikeouts on curveballs last night.
He got Rodriguez on one just off the plate, like just perfect. Change of speeds, just perfect. So, yeah, I didn't know it was 4, but I could believe it. Then the Dodgers at 8:30. Ohtani pitches in that game as the Dodgers go for the sweep there. We've got picks coming up, and I've got a thing to say about fruit trees.
Fruit trees?
Fruit trees, yeah.
Fruit trees going to make this is a debut on the show?
It's been a while since I've brought up fruit trees, if I ever have.
They've been in the green room before? They get bumped by stupid pet tricks or something?
They have long rotted and shriveled up. They've been in there for that long. We took out all those, greenhouse lights from the green room.
Right. Yeah.
So it's been tough on the fruit trees. Picks, too. That's always fun. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, Football Friday. Stay with us. This is WGR.
Said everything's all right. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. Yeah. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. You seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over, it's about time. on. Choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life. Roller coaster. I want to go down the rabbit hole, down the rabbit hole of life. And now it's about to leave. Oh, roller coaster.
Sabres back at practice earlier today as they will get ready to host the Florida Panthers tomorrow afternoon. One player who will be expected to be back in the lineup is Mattias Samuelsson. He was on the ice today, that according to head coach Lindy Ruff. One player, though, that is not expected to be back for a little bit of time here, Justin Danforth, going to be out at least more than a month with a lower body injury. But some good news on the injury front. Michael Kessering had a rehab skate today, and then Jordan Greenway on the ice, though in a non-contact jersey. 4 games tonight in the NHL, 2 at 7. The Lightning are in Detroit versus the Red Wings, and Washington hosts Minnesota. At 8:30, Chicago hosts the Vancouver Canucks. And then at 9, the Mammoth, they have the San Jose Sharks in town. For the NHL, some keynotes for this weekend. Carson Wentz gets the start at quarterback for Minnesota this Sunday when they take on Philadelphia. Puka Nacua is out with an ankle this Sunday morning when the Rams take on the Jacksonville Jaguars in Europe. And the 49ers have ruled out quarterback Brock Purdy and wide receiver Ricky Pearsall for Sunday night's game against the Falcons. Mac Jones will get the start at quarterback. Then in baseball, Game 5 of the ALCS is about to get underway. Seattle plays host to Toronto. Bryce Miller, Kevin Gausman are your starters tonight. And then the second game of the evening will be at 8:30. Dodgers looking for the sweep of the Brewers at home. Jose Quintana and Shohei Ohtani are your starters for that game. And then Sports Talk on WGR is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL games live every Sunday all season long and visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. At your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update, Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
I just remembered something I've been meaning to bring up. So my son has lacrosse practices Sunday mornings, although this week's a tournament, and the forecast sounds lovely. Heavy rain and wind, just what you want. You know, a day out in the fields with no cover. I'm so spoiled. But anyway, what the routine is usually, I'll take him to practice, which starts at 8, so a few minutes early, and then we leave somewhere around 9:45. So these NFL games start at 9:30. And I've listened to each of the last 3 on my way home with him from practice. And the last 2, the play-by-play announcer was British.
Yeah, I noticed that on Sunday. I don't know why I was out early. Oh, I was coming back from golfing Sunday morning, and I heard a British accent on the play-by-play.
What did you think?
I thought he knew. I only heard it was driving from Delaware Park to my house, so he seemed to know the lingo.
He knew some of it, and I wish I knew his name. It's not been easy to find out. Like, I've been looking up Westwood One, and I think his first name is Oliver, but I don't know his last name. Anyway, I was having a tough time with it just because, there's a not that everybody has to do it the same way, but there's sort of an order of things. You know? I mean, there are plenty of American announcers that don't have this down, too. But there's an order of things. What's the play? How many yards? Is it a first down or not? Mm-hmm. We'll get to who made the play. But the most important thing you're listening for is the result.
Mm-hmm.
And he was kind of out of order, I thought. And I was having a tough time understanding the names. I don't mean that to be critical. He's got an accent. But I had a tough time, who was this on? The Broncos-Jets were the last game. And, I mean, I appreciate the variety and that the NFL would do that. But I had a tough time following some of the action because of those reasons. But my son was into it. He's like, you feel like this should be a soccer game.
Right.
But it's an NFL game.
That's what you're used to. That's what you're used to hearing.
Yeah, those guys usually have British accents on soccer.
Yeah. Speaking of the order of things, I don't know. I don't know the name. I think his first name might be John. Do you know who does the Thursday games with Ross? Because Ross was in the booth as the analyst last night for Westwood, and I heard a part of the second quarter driving home from an event I went to in Lovejoy last night, and he's very good. And Ross had a great observation at one point. I don't remember specifically what it was, but I thought to text him, and then I thought no. probably gets millions of people texting him during these games. I'm not going to be one of those people. And now I can't remember what I wanted to compliment him about. But anyway, the play-by-play guy, there was a play. It was like a 3rd down and 6 type of play, right? And it's a pass, and it's complete. And he's breaking tackles, and he's dragged out. He just said a lot of words before he told you that he picked up the 6 yards. I was just like, all I want to know is if he got the 6 yards.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, same point. That's why you're tripping a wire from me. I remember thinking, like, it all sounded really good, but I needed the result before a lot of the other stuff you gave me. You just squeeze in and picks up the 1st down and then continue with the breaking the tackles and the whatever. Fine. I felt like that was the main goal here, was to whether he got the 1st down or not, and you made me wait a little too long. But I'm really nitpicking now, I think.
I've known his name, but I don't know it now. So we're striking out on this. But yep, British announcer. We'll see if he's suited up on Sunday. Right. One more London game. A couple of weeks away, we have Berlin and Madrid coming up. So there's 2 more international games after this one. But I think next week there isn't any. Picks in a minute, or do you want picks first? Fruit trees.
I don't need a lot of time for picks.
I live on a property that has fruit trees.
I have a lot to say about having gone 1-9 the last 2 weeks.
Oh, well, I can appreciate that, even with your big win last night. I'd rather be you, I think.
Right. Sure.
I live on a property that has fruit trees. And one consideration back in the spring when I was deciding like whether I was going to take the plunge on a riding mower was, Michael, if you do this, you're going to have to pick up the fruit, because sometimes we don't. Sometimes like pears and apples fall to the ground and they just kind of
sit there
are
and
left
rot.
for the bees and the deer.
Yeah, right.
Eventually we get to it, but we're not diligent about it.
Right.
Which I blame myself for.
And you don't want to be running
else.
those over and shooting them out of a riding lawnmower.
The plan is like pick up the pears and the apples before mowing the lawn. It's almost to the end of the season here, though. And my wife made a comment like a month ago about how she'd heard or known that some years no fruit.
Really?
Did you know that?
No.
Some years, no fruit.
My parents have had a pear tree in their backyard for as long. I'm not even sure if it's still there now. They haven't given us pears in a long time. But they used to bring us bushels of pears every year. And that tree never failed to produce fruit that I can remember.
I've got 6 relatively prolific pear trees and apple trees that are spaced way apart. None of them this year
dropped fruit?
Any fruit.
Wow.
None. Not one. Not one. And it's so weird. So I was just reading about it, and not very much. I'd be interested in feedback that I'd get from probably many knowledgeable people about this that would listen. Like I'm not from that world. So like I didn't realize that some years
me either.
No fruit. And it can be because of like maintenance that your tree needs. It's a woodchuck situation now, because like maybe the trees need help. They don't look sick or anything like that, but just,
they haven't been pruned.
Yeah, they haven't been attended to.
Yeah, maybe that
ever.
That makes sense.
Me.
Pruning them would probably, because the reason you prune plants and trees is to promote growth, healthy.
That sounds right.
Yeah, pruning is probably what you're missing.
But it just was like all of them.
Unless you're not
in 1 year.
That if you don't mind the tree, you don't have to pick up the fruit. That's a win. Maybe.
No, I feel a little bit fortunate.
Right.
We would eat the apples.
Don't prune.
And mostly. A couple years, my neighbor made brandy out of the pears, which was interesting. But we wouldn't usually eat the pears, but the apples we would eat, and Margot would eat. But no fruit this year. So I thought that was kind of wild. Wasn't expecting.
I never knew this.
Didn't have to do that work
about fruit trees. I'll bet my parents pruned that tree. Even now, I think they still have that tree. I can't remember it not being there.
The trees all seem very healthy and are not next to each other. Because I feel like that might be logical if they're right next to each other, that, they would alternate. I read something about that too also, like that maybe if they're, I don't know anything about this. I need to stop talking. I just wanted to bring up I don't have any fruit.
I had never heard this before, so it's news to me.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Picks.
Yeah.
And what if I did do it, even though I admit to nothing and never will? What does that make me? And I'm not here just defending myself, but all those pickers out there who've been caught. Each and every one of them. Who has to suffer the shame and humiliation because of people like you.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Are we not human? If we pick, do we not bleed?
On WGR.
I am not an animal.
Sports Radio 550.
Now for something I really know a lot about.
Yeah. Well, you're on a roll. I mean, you right? Were you 4-1 again? You're stomping me here.
Really?
You are. Well, you're up by seven and a half games.
7.5.
Yeah.
How did the Bears do? Oh yeah, they won 25-24. I did go 4-1. You know, there's some luck in it. Some. Okay. Well, here. I didn't finish this. I only have 4. Let's start with the ones that I do have. I said yesterday on our popular segment called The Line, presented by FanDuel, that I'm in on Seattle. This is a team I was wrong about. I didn't think, from what I heard, knowledgeable people thought their offensive lines seemed to think they would be bad. Instead, Sam Darnold has held up very well so far. JSN is most of the offense, and their defense is good. They have a thing where they're winning their road games and not their home games, and they are home Monday night to Houston, but I'm not a Houston guy.
Yeah.
And the line came down to 3 this afternoon, so I will give 3 with the Seahawks at home Monday night.
One quick observation on the Seahawks. You know what they also have on that defense? They have this freakishly big defensive back that they can deploy in all kinds of interesting ways, like near the line of scrimmage, and he's making plays all over the field.
Nick Emenwari.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his name. Thank you. That's the guy. Yeah.
Went in the second round.
Yeah.
He's in my lineup at Football Diehards this week.
Yeah, he looks safety. He looks really good. You can continue.
You liked him out of South Carolina.
That was the number one guy I wanted in the draft. Yes.
Who was it the year before? Worthy?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, thanks for reminding me of that.
Pick 2. I'm going to take scared money. I'm going to take Tennessee 6.5 at home against New England. I like New England, but I don't expect them to be a team that just rolls. And, you know, they're winning, but it's a little bit of a battle like the game in New Orleans was. Obviously, the game here was close. That was a nice win. Tennessee.
New coach bump.
New coach. And
Visor guy. Fellow Visor guy. You got to support the Visor guy.
It's a absolute Buster special. Like the Patriots are everybody's darlings now, and the Titans are a mess. But 6.5 at home, that's priced in. I'll take Tennessee and the points. What if they win it? It would change things. It would change the conversation around here if New England lost to Tennessee. Pick 3, I like Dallas a lot at home against Washington. As of this morning, they were an underdog, but that has flipped. Dallas is now a 1.5-point favorite at FanDuel. That happened when I was watching Bet Sweats right in the middle of their conversation about the game. The line moved like 3 points toward Dallas for some reason. It couldn't just be McLaurin, I think. But Dallas is down in the secondary now. Trayvon Diggs apparently had some accident.
Yeah, he's got a concussion and he's out. Yeah.
But I'll take the Cowboys at home. I love how Prescott looks. I've always been a Prescott fan. All right, this is the one I didn't do. I'll take the Rams. -3 in London over Jacksonville. Just been betting. Well, it worked last week anyway, going against Jacksonville. Yeah. And you like to pick the Rams.
Yeah.
Then college, I just, for fun, I'm not as good at the college games this year as pro, but I think it's kind of cool that Vanderbilt is favored against LSU. Like it's been 1948 was the last time they were favored to beat LSU.
But that is an easy route for Vanderbilt, even though they're not the underdog, because who knows anything about the Vanderbilt coach? Like my thing when I watch college football games every Saturday, like the coaches, I don't like that guy. I don't like him. I don't know who to root for. Vanderbilt will be nice and easy. You're playing Brian Kelly. Go faceless, nameless Vandy coach. I have no idea who you are, but I'm assuming that I don't have anything against you at this point. There probably is reason to have stuff, but I don't. So.
Yeah, you just don't know what it is.
Right, I just don't know yet.
Is that Belichick? He's not at Vanderbilt? Right. Smarty School, Vanderbilt. The Commodores -2.5 at home against LSU.
So 1-9 the last 2 weeks, folks. 1-9. Sit down, gather around the radio, kids. Grandpa Bulldog wants to tell you a little story. Back in the mid '90s, when I was, pretty fresh and new at this, we still, no computers in the studios. We worked off of the newspapers, and back in the day, the USA Today sports section was, very handy to have, and there were ads near the last page or two, advertising these people that I think some of them, many of them are friends of ours now, and they do radio shows. There was a handicapper. I'm not going to say his name. That would apparently he'd have like rough stretches, and his ad frequently would be like a picture of him. All right, Twitch, YouTube, you ready? Like the picture of him with like his hands up like this, like and the ad would say, "Let me make it up to you. I had a bad week. Here's the number, guaranteed winners, yada yada yada." And I started. This was Brad Ryder was my producer at this time. We started like making a bit out of making fun of this guy by name, and eventually. At one point, the phone rang in the sports office. Landline, everyone. I told you, Grandpa Bulldog. The phone rang in the sports office, and I picked it up. WBEN Sports. Is this the guy that does the show? I'm like, what show? Like, the nighttime show. Is this the guy? I'm like, yeah, actually it is. What can I do for you? Like, you think you're pretty funny, don't you? You think you're pretty funny. I'm going to tell you what, you should stop making fun of, and he said the name, and again, I don't want to say the name because I don't want to get in any trouble. I don't know if this guy is still out there in the handicapping space, but it felt like the guy didn't exactly say we know where you live or anything, but it felt like an honest-to-goodness threatening phone call. And I went to Brad, and I'm like, I told him what happened, and he's like, yeah, we should stop. Yeah, we should just stop making fun of this guy because it sounds like maybe it's not going over great. Anyway, with that, here are my picks. I've had a tough couple of weeks, folks. If you let me make it up to you. I am going to take the Rams. I love the Rams. -3 at Jacksonville. I got to make up ground here, but losing games I believe in is not going to help. And this was, it's the first game on the board. You go to look at FanDuel or wherever, and in the order, there it is. I like that. Right? You're off to a good start when you're trying to put together 4 picks you believe in. If the very first game you see, you go, I like it. Again, I don't know if this tracks. I don't know if it correlates to success or not. I think I liked last week's picks. I lost them all. Anyway, Rams, so I'm with you. I will take the Chargers -1.5 hosting the Colts. I've been everywhere on the Colts. I bet against them for weeks in a row thinking the sky was going to fall in on them. Then I took them and they didn't cover. And I'm just going to go back to this is going to be, I think this is a harder game for them. And in L.A., no big deal. It's up to 2 now?
No.
Oh, 2 minutes. Okay, I got to hurry. Sorry, I'm telling my dopey story. Okay.
Sorry.
Anyway, Chargers.
I talked about fruit trees for 5 minutes.
1.5. Yeah, at least mine was gambling adjacent.
That's right.
I'll take the Panthers -1.5 at the Jets because, come on. And I'm going to go Chiefs -12.5 hosting the Raiders. I'm riding the Chiefs wave here. No Bowers again. I know they don't have their left tackle. I know maybe Crosby can wreak havoc. Whatever. I'm going to trust the Chiefs to just run away with that. And have you seen this Nebraska quarterback?
No.
At all? Is cosplay? How do you say that? Like he's
cosplay?
Cosplay. He's a Patrick Mahomes imitation artist. How do you say it?
Who's the backup? Anime?
Someone say it. Does anyone know how to say it?
Cosplay?
Cosplay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I don't know what the hell I'm doing in here. I'm 60 years old. He is Mahomes.
It's just an interesting name.
And he keeps pushing back on this narrative that he's imitating Mahomes, but he dresses like him and acts like him and does the same warm-up, and it's insane. Anyway, I'm going to take Nebraska -7.5 at Minnesota tonight because Casey Middlestad is not walking through that door.
How do you dress like Mahomes? You mean like he wears a Chiefs jersey?
He's got the headband.
Oh, okay,
and
sure.
He's just got the whole thing.
The hair?
It's a Halloween costume.
The hair,
yes,
everything, yes.
It's incredible.
Wow. And he denies it, and he making any effort.
I've referenced him like being like, stop saying I'm doing this on purpose.
I'm just being me.
Like if they show a mirror image of Mahomes running out before kickoff, and this guy, he like does the same exact things.
Sort of has like his chest out a little bit when he runs.
like going like this at the fit, like this. It's a mirror. It's incredible.
All right,
Raiola, right? Dominic Raiola, I think is the name.
Dylan Raiola.
That I got. Cosplay, I had no idea. All right.
Nebraska -7 is how that ends.
7.5.
7.5, even better. Earlier today, some fantasy thoughts from Adam Krautwurst, friend of ours, and he's with Full-Time Fantasy now. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog. It is Football Friday, and we will hear our conversation with Adam next. But for now, we'll be taking a break, and that means we'll be back in a snap, brought to you by Snapdragon Apples, the official apple of the Buffalo Bills.
We've been living in sin so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright.
NFL Sunday is coming.
Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. You seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over. It's about time. Oh, all sing your high line on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your time.